is a fast-acting viral strain that infects the host immediately, and upon getting sick, the infected will become racked with coughs, sweat profusely, and start to get the shivers and chills.
There he is, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. You can't literally run a promotion just for the AEW, what do they call them, sickos?
Thank you very much, TikTok and AEW. See you tonight.
Tony Khan started telling people there's no such thing as long-term booking anymore. It's week to week.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
We just secured the bag.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It was just sort of happened naturally. But it was never something I intended. It was just something that happened because the wrestlers asked me to do things in matches, and I do them.
If you run a promotion just for the sickos, you're going to do 400,000 viewers eventually.
Effing melts. You know that SmackDown actually went over and everything?
Yeah.
You know,
What's the point?
the point of SmackDown.
What are you getting at here?
That the DVRs didn't pick it up.
Did they not pick it up?
Mine didn't.
Let's get into everybody's favorite moment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week.
What would you like to listen to in your ears?
I'd like to hear the flute.
Well, if you'd like to flaunt your flute, then we can find you a flautist.
We have just secured the bag.
It doesn't help me.
Okay, so complain, but
I will complain.
Let me out of my misery.
And when I heard that, I was like, what?
Thank you, fuck you, bye. Boom.
You got to run a promotion for everybody. The sickos can be the ones that buy tickets first and spend the most money on the merchandise.
Because we have just secured the bag.
But, like, you got to promote for everybody. Then you'll have a lot of viewers.
I think we proved a lot of so-called experts. We made them look like idiots. We're not going anywhere. Tony Khan's not going anywhere.
You'll also be there on TNT. You'll be in 2 places at once. You'll be like my favorite movie. Time. So great, Pittsburgh.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It sort of happened naturally.
the best guys, Tony Khan.
To keep themselves safe.
To me, at least, that Tony views me at least as one of the top guys here.
You sure you're okay?
No, I'm 100% fine. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Let's go, dude.
Thank you. I
Awesome,
appreciate you.
As an outsider who's not a massive fan of who I only know so much about it, I always thought, why isn't there some sort of signifying thing about the boots to the wrestler that the fans could?
Well,
then...
a lot of wrestlers don't wear boots anymore.
Yeah,
I see crazy, and I kind of don't like it because that's like the weird traditionalist part of me is like wrestling and wrestling boots.
Yeah,
sure,
put on your boots.
Yeah,
man.
put on your boots. What are you
doing? Yeah, put on your boots, pal.
Yeah,
that's the
Canadian
Canadian
lace them up, you know.
Lace up your boots, bud.
It's like that expression. Oh, he's one of the best ever. Lace up a pair of boots.
Right.
But you got guys going out there in Jordans and stuff now, and I'm just like, what happened to this business?
And back in my day.
Yeah, exactly. Wrestler wanted to wear wrestling boots.
Ooh, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Live Show. Yeah, I am your host, the infallible Phil Marks. And boy, oh boy, do we have a jam-packed show to get to this evening. Tony Khan lies about the NWA title. We get checked in from Steamboat Tony. So we're gonna check in on Steamboat Tone. Zack Ryder may or may have not returned to WWE, depending on who you ask right now. And TNA causes AEW sicko level meltdowns here across the IWC. And I can't wait for it, man. All of that and more tonight. It is Pro Wrestle Times live show. Welcome. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. The likes help the algorithm. You guys can super chat or become members if you want to support the show directly. And memberships for only 99 cents. You can gift them, but if you get one for yourself, 99 cents. I do bonus shows weekly. Last one was fucking amazing. Every Monday I do a bonus show. They're all pretty good, but we kind of got into a routine of just watching Raw. So we switched it up last Monday. Fucking amazing. And we're going to do another one like that this Monday. And so, yeah, I'm glad we made it. It's Saturday. We made it through the week. Yeah, and you guys can scan this QR code if you see it, and that takes you to all my links. Do you know what I mean? If you want to find me everywhere. So, absolutely jam-packed, can't miss, must-see TV here at PWT this evening. So everybody strap in. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Here's my other channel. If you guys want to hear me mark out about pop culture and whatnot, I have another channel there where I do fun stuff over there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, also patreon.com/prowrestletimes. There's a new show coming there, and I have 3 Tough Enoughs dropping this week. So I edited them. I just held off on, and JJ Alexander tells an insane Jonathan Coachman story during one of the episodes. We watched the finale, the live finale. It's great stuff. So those are my shills. I appreciate you all. Welcome to PWT Live. And allegedly. There is some a bunch of trash basically we need to get to tonight in the IWC thing. And thanks to everybody who tunes into Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment of the Week Thursdays, live Thursdays on YouTube. I really appreciate that. Those shows are fun. The next one will be a 2-hour at the maximum show. I swear to God. I swear is it. Okay. I swear. I just get off on these rants, and the next thing you know, I look up, it's like 2.5 hours have gone by. So this next week here, I'm coming in hot. Okay. You guys are going to get the best ep of double DMW ever. But speaking of the best steps ever, we're here tonight. It's PWT Live Show 199, guys. So this Wednesday, celebrating 200 shows. That's right, 200 live shows. And we also hit 100 of the podcasts this year as well. So just amazing. Well over 300 in the bank, not counting run-ins and everything else. So, yeah, and I think we're just getting started here at PWT. So welcome to the madness and the chaos. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start with some miscellaneous news, because boy, do we got a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
So here is 16-year-old sumo wrestling prodigy Kosei, who defeats a 39-year-old Amamadake, who's more than twice his size. This is professional sumo. There are no weight classes at the pro level. And you guys know here at PWT, we always randomly just start talking about and bringing up sumo. Pockets ain't thick, they sumo. Who knows that song? And yeah, so let's take a look at Kosei here, who just fucking tosses this big guy around. We need like the final countdown. Okay, they're about to throw down some sumo action. Okay, let's get to it here. They're just setting up. I don't know what all of this is about. Is this like a face-off in wrestling? Or, pardon me, hockey in wrestling. A face-off in hockey? There, buds? Where the ref's like, nope, go again? Or is it just like tradition? Or damn, so he just like bullied him out of there. You know, good on that guy. I don't know. Where's the sumo? Where's a Fat Factor? He's always geeking out about sumo. Speaking of sumos and big giant motherfuckers, Braun Strowman's Everything on the Menu show on Friday after WWE SmackDown was a pretty big success. Actually, pretty damn big success, especially this day and age. Dude, I could see them. Well, this is Dave Meltzer saying this, by the way. So who knows if he's, even being legit here. Let's just be honest. It's Dave. What's a good Dave's? We'll just hit a learn. I don't know a good Dave sound right now. But it did 533,000 viewers and a 0.13, and it beat Dynamite. It beat NXT, which is on a network station. It beat it on a Friday night at 10, which is not even a good time slot. But it's crazy because when it comes to, it's funny because like Dave, when he talks about AEW, he will be like, oh, like if NXT does 533, oh, well, it gets destroyed because this, and that. It's like, and then when it comes to this show beating all of wrestling, because Dave hates wrestling secretly. That's why he just tries to stooge it all. He has like, and this, like it beat this show and that show, Brian. But I could see WWE bringing Braun in. I actually said this a while ago. I could see them bringing him back in. Just he was making so much money for like how little they were using him and what I think they thought he brought to the table. There's conspiracy theories out there that SmackDown moving to 3 hours, which we'll talk to and talk about and we're going to talk to SmackDown. It's early in the show, guys. The fuck, I'm fucking up. Stone Cold's trending, by the way, but I could see them wanting to work with him in some capacity in the future, and this cross promotional. Whatever the fuck. You know what else was a good show, though, on Mondays on USA? Bar Rescue. I don't know if they still do that, but I would watch that after Raw all the time. Like, I would, like, fall asleep to it or whatever, But, yeah, it's a massive hit. And then, there's conspiracy theories that SmackDown is, like, taking this hour because they saw how successful Strowman shit is. I think Baron Corbin threw that out there or some shit, and... yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a matter of this was discussed before. Like they might go back to 3 hours. Everyone already talked about that. It's their way of spicing things up. Like clearly they're trying to spice SmackDown up, which we're going to talk about more. There's lots of SmackDown news and WWE news today. But good for Braun Strowman is ultimately what we're getting at here. Good for him. Speaking of good for them, Batista has a tradition of gifting his close friends and film co-stars the iconic Big Gold Heavyweight Championship as a token of appreciation. Now, this is just a random factoid. I think this is like an older video, but this is just a random factoid about Batista that I think people know, but I don't know if we've ever really talked about on the show. I'm not going to play this clip, but he gifts this to everybody. That's cool. And that's cool how he like associates with that title. Because to me, I always associated Batista with this title as well. There's certain guys where even Triple H, like, yeah, he's been a multiple-time WWE champion. But when I think of him, I think of the World Heavyweight Championship, And there's certain guys, when you think of them, you're like John Cena, for instance. Yeah, he had the World Heavyweight title. I way more associate him with the WWE title. Right? So a guy like Batista, when you think about, he's had world championships, just the one that comes to mind for me is him being world champion, world heavyweight champion, taking that belt, I believe, over to SmackDown too. Didn't they do the switcheroo at that point as well? So, and then the world heavyweight title on SmackDown. I mean, damn, we got so many runs with that thing. Like King Booker came from that thing being over there. So yeah, that's cool that he associates with it as well. Speaking of associations, I don't know if that's a good transition. Gail Kim announces she is taking wrestling bookings again with any association, your federation, or nation of domination. She will be booked by you. So Gail Kim hitting the pro. I mean, why not? Everyone's melting down about her. You see sickos getting enraged about her every fucking every few weeks or couple days, she puts a comment out about AEW and then people melt down on her. Speaking of meltdowns, okay, Twitter and X users being sent DMCA notices over posts about former WWE star Cora Jade. Now, I've broken this down really extensively on the show, how these like false copyright and DMCA notices, and shout out Meltzer says what, because Meltzer said what? Because NoDQ.com like used his tweet. His is the tweet that he went with. And it seems like she just sent a bunch of bots out there because they're like striking her wrestling shit and like giving notices and stuff. Doing this backfires so heavily. Like fans hate that shit. I don't know who was doing that. Like Lacey Evans did that. She, and rich people do this. They will take their money and they will try and scrub the internet of all their shit and then control their shit so that if anything goes up, you can snipe it. And that's totally fair. But when it's your wrestling content and like, can you even DMCA strike WWE shit, Cora Jade? That's the thing. I don't even know if you can actually do that. That might be illegal. This shit backfires so hard. On YouTube recently in the trial of Unique versus Brendan Schaub, the precedent was set on YouTube of what's transformative and what's not. You know what I mean? So even when I get sniped by like Aubrey Edwards when we were like, or Don Stevens rather, when we were watching AEW Unrestricted, it's like I could fight that shit, but then I have to go to court. I have to like dox myself to AEW. They're gonna run to the dirt sheets with it. You know what I'm saying? But the next step is like, nah, I dispute this, and then if they choose to challenge that, okay, you go to fucking court. That's how it's handled, right? And YouTube gives you the opportunity to just dispute it and settle it between yourselves, so that the next thing isn't like going to court or whatever. That's why people it's just, you don't want to start I'm not saying like if someone plays your whole song or like plays a whole movie or something, like, yes, there's checks and balances, right? YouTube's pretty fair. With music, it's tough. Like even when I play the sad Meltzer Titanic sound, like I added the sad Titanic flute. I'm sure you guys, I could play it right now. Just a little daddy magic taste, but I have to quickly turn it down. Where is it? It's like my Dave sad flute. Yeah, the extra sad. Turn this down quickly. Because even someone will try and snipe that sound, So sometimes sounds can get silly, and then it's based on like who made a video on YouTube that copywrote that riff first and things like that. It can boil down to just like ridiculous things. The point I'm getting at is I don't blame her for like wanting to pull down her shit, but this will backfire inevitably, okay? Because a company like WWE is going to be like, well, no, we own that. And then like something's going to happen. Some bot's going to like fucking DMCA strike something that they have no right to or some shit. Like, I don't know. You don't want your lewds out there. What she's trying to do is protect her OF content, because inevitably you start OF and then people will just start leaking your shit out there, So, and especially when you're like a famous person or a name of note, a notable name, right? And I just think I don't think it's a good idea to do that, and I don't think it's a good idea to copyright your OF stuff, but it's targeting all this stuff that isn't OF stuff. Right. And there is like, if you just leak OF stuff and get caught, you could get in trouble for that for sure. 100%. But like now it's going off into like her NXT territory. I don't know if she owns that shit. But Julian Week says, out here hitting people with DMCA strikes for wishing you a speedy recovery is straight bullshit. It was the bots, Julian. This guy here says, Cora, way to kill any goodwill you had left. Yeesh. I don't know. I don't get why people hate on Cora so much. Oh, she quit this job or she didn't even quit. She got let go, but like she quit this job and then felt resentful and went and got a new job. Essentially, it's like, why is everyone mad at that? I really will never understand. But either way, Meltzer said says, if you get DMCA notice from Cora Jade, dispute it and file a counter notice. Unless you posted photos from her OF, she cannot have random wrestling photos of herself removed that are owned by WWE or the individual photographer themselves. You can DM me if you need help. And he's right. The thing is like, you could definitely challenge these. I don't know how it works on Twitter. I'm just talking about the YouTube. I'll speak on YouTube because I'm very familiar with it, from the work I did prior to like launching my own channels and stuff like that. But on the YouTube end, pardon me, the X end, no fucking clue. I don't make money. I still have my blue check. I don't make money from X. I don't get enough. I don't have enough verified followers, I think. Last time I checked was months ago. And like, I just gave up. I don't care. Some people told me who had blue checks before, they're like, it's not worth it. Like, I tested it after a while. For me, I like it. I like the features it gives me. I'm down with it. So I'm going to keep it. But I have no clue how like a DMCA dispute would work on X whatsoever. But Meltzer said offering his services, and so what did he say here? Unless you posted from her OF, dispute it and file a counter notice. And here's the other thing: the next step. So if you get disputed, at least on YouTube, the next step is, okay, we have to go to court over this and dispute it. We have to figure out who owns this shit legally, and was it fair use or whatever. Cora Jade isn't going. He's not saying this to be like, fuck Cora Jade. He's just saying this as a fact. Okay. Cora Jade isn't going to spend her fucking time like going to court with 30 people online who were like Julian Weeks was wishing her a speedy recovery. She's not going to take that guy to court. So just dispute it. And it's no sweat off anyone's back at that point. Cause you're basically, or maybe not. Maybe she's like, no, fuck all these people. Okay, then that would suck. Then I'd say shit on her. But yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, was miscellaneous news.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Oh, yeah. So we have some TNA news. Boy, is there some TNA news. A lot of meltdowns. Speaking of melties, man, TNA got everybody in their fifis. Okay, got everybody in their feelings about, their booking decisions, right? So this is TNA news here. So what went down at Turning Point was what you see here. Frankie Kazarian defeated Mike Santana to become the new TNA World Champion. Now, when I saw this, when this went down, I went on X, and the whole timeline was just people melting down or praising and putting over Kazarian and just talking about TNA. That's a W right there. That was the point. They did some shit. Now people, you might be more invested. Some people are like, oh, fuck this. The chase, there's more money in the chase with Santana at the end of the day. And I mean, a girl's had this title. Am I right, fellas? Right? But they've given it to a woman even. Like this thing's bounced around. Now, I agree. Should they have taken it off Santana? No, I was straight up shocked. I wouldn't have done that if I was Booker. But also, Santana won the belt, and then who's really talking about it after that? And I noticed it, bro, because I'm like, yo, TNA news is its own segment, and da-da-da-da, I'm going to make sure I add more. We're going to compare it to AEW, and then it just I just talked about this recently. Look at the ticket sales for the last pay-per-view. It just didn't do nearly as well, or the upcoming one or whatever. There's not doing as well as Bound for Glory. Not that every single one's going to do as good as their WrestleMania show, but it's just like you thought some of this momentum would have followed through, and people weren't really talking about TNA, man. And even the TV deal, like, where the fuck is it at? I know for sure in 2026, like early in 2026, we'll hear about it. For sure, we'll like hear what it is or get a rumor about it, or Alba will break a fucking story that then gets corrected or something about it. But we'll start hearing about it more. But even that, like, I thought maybe at BFG they'd drop a bomb on everyone, and maybe Carlos Silva was like, what's the word? He's like, maybe in 9 months, and then he kind of just pulls the trigger on everyone and keeps everyone on their toes and excited about TNA. No, he didn't, man. And the hype kind of died down, and now you see this image like, dude, the hype is real. It's there. Like, people are talking about TNA again. Like, maybe Santana, and then they booked an angle that had the dirt sheets melting down because this dirt sheet reported this, and then this one reported that, but then this one saying that they were worked and they usually wouldn't talk about being worked, but blah, blah, blah. It's just, it created madness. Everyone's talking about TNA. I think that's a fucking W, right? It was a solid match. Kazarian is a guy who I don't think ever won that title. And again, I've told you guys, this is their TNA Legends send-off tour. And remember when Joe Hendry, everyone wanted him to win the goddamn title? And then it just felt like we got dicked around there too as fans, you know? But then they just announced we'll talk about that in a minute, but I told you guys, hey, TNA is going to let Hendry out early, more than likely, like they did for Jordan Grace. Because he was already on like a deal with them, you know? He already had access to the performance center and all this shit, right? So like before you were seeing him all the time. Or at least that's the begin. Like it's the Jordan Grace thing. Like she was fucking. They were like, "You are welcome here. Like you got to sign with us though when you're done." That's the deal. It's like a deal before the deal comes up, you know. And then TNA is just like, "Well, you might as well just go there," because they're just playing friendly. They're just making good relationships with WWE, right? And so people are pissed about that, and I get that too. And I'm totally understand as a fan. To me, I don't know if I'd have put it on Kazarian yet. Not to say I wouldn't consider it maybe down the line, but I thought Santana was going to rack up them wins. He still could, though. He could still win the belt back from Kazarian, and then they do a trilogy bout, and then he beats Kazarian again, and then he goes on to face other people. That could happen. This could just be like a transitional thing to get hype and to get people talking about TNA, and people are like, what hype? Well, the hype of like everyone was talking about it. It's the same thing we say with like Jey Uso. A billion people are like, he's just an entrance, and hit dislike on his video. And then fucking a million other people are like, oh my God, he's awesome and my kids love him and da-da-da-da-da, right? And it's like, okay, well, you're hating him, you care about it, or you're talking about it. That's what fucking matters. This was polarizing. And you've seen a bunch of the wrestlers chime in and go, dude, Kazarian deserves this. This was one for the boys, kind of. It's not like Santana's cooked either. Okay? He's either going to WWE way earlier than we thought, way earlier. He's going to be like a Rumble entrant or something. Or Santana's just going to win this shit back. That's my take on it. But I'm telling you, the timeline was just TNA, how dare they? This is fucked. Sorry, guys. When did I mute myself? Please stand by. How long was it? Like 1 minute? 2 minutes? Oh, did I mute out? Sorry. So, yeah, I apologize. Oh my God. Dumbass over here. I mute. It was like 2 minutes. Okay, sorry about that. So basically 4 minutes, 3 minutes. Yeah, it was like 2 minutes. God damn it. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. We're here. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, it was like definitely 2 minutes of mute. Okay, so listen, I was just ranting about how Mike Santana, like, so what had happened was he got attacked by the NXT guys at the end of the show, right? And so my whole thing is like, you can't completely write off what they're building to here. He was like a prominent part in the invasion. Okay. So he also, and Joe Hendry, we're about to talk about Joe Hendry, he officially signed with WWE, blah, blah, blah. But as I told you guys, they're likely going to let Joe Hendry out of his contract with TNA early, like they did Jordan Grace. Here's the thing with Santana. We don't know how long he's been signed for in TNA. I don't know if Fightful does. I don't know, because they always have the contract news on TNA. I don't know who has the who knows how long he signed for. I'm not sure if that's public information, but what I do know is that TNA's down with doing these like 3-month, 6-month, 9-month deals. So we don't know if they're doing a Joe Hendry and they're letting, or a Jordan Grace, and he's going to leave his contract early to go to WWE. I know a lot of people are upset that Santana lost, but at the same time, you know, Kazarian, we saw all the wrestlers come out and say Kazarian fucking deserves this. And they've been heating him up. And we've been talking about that here at PWT for a while as well. They've been heating Kazarian up for quite some time. So all this does is heat him up, build more intrigue. Maybe people are like, oh, I'm turning this shit off. But we don't know. Is Santana leaving his deal early? Is he going right to the main roster? Is he free come Rumble time? They just let it happen for Joe Hendry. Is he going to lead Team TNA to a victory and then win the belt back from Kazarian? And then they're just giving Kazarian a short run because he deserves it because he's been around forever, right? And so this caused the dirt sheets to melt down. This next tidbit here is that here's what they did. They booked an angle where Santana no-showed the next event, or he didn't show up at the next taping or whatever the fuck they did. What was it? Turning Point was the event, right? He no-showed. He wasn't there yet. He didn't pull up to the building. And this is courtesy of PW Insider. Now, PWI, they're usually on point as well. I would say for the most part of all the dirt sheets, right? I would say they're mostly on point. But this seems like a ginormous fuck up because all the sheets started melting down about like whether or not this is true or that's true or what they were told, what storyline, what isn't. And then they're all trying to save face and defend each other. But, and you have like AEW level sicko meltdowns about this TNA situation, and then Santana no showing, but then it was a storyline, or was it a work shoot, right? Nobody knows. But at the end of the day, it got people talking. So for like 2 days, all that was on the timeline was TNA. It's still on the timeline. People groveling about it, people upset, people who care about it, some people who fucking despise it and say TNA is going to TNA. People are talking about TNA. So again, I'm not sure where I muted myself, but like it's the Jey Uso thing. Like we fucking cheer for, there's a bunch of people who dislike it. Hey, the algorithms just, here's a bunch of people engaging with this video. You care. Half the crowd says John Cena sucks. Half the crowd loves John Cena, right? It's the same thing. Santana, this does suck for him. Maybe he's leaving soon though, like Hendry and Jordan Grace did. And he's leaving early. Maybe he's, you know, maybe the plan is like, okay, let's just shot, because the hype died down. After Bound for Glory, the hype died down. Okay? I've talked about this on the show already, on past live shows. the fucking hype died down a little bit from TNA. And it could be like the Joe Hendry thing. They didn't pull the trigger on Joe Hendry when everybody wanted. Why? Because it may have just not been the right time. Or they knew, listen, he's going to NXT. He's going to WWE. So we're going to do this our way to make sure we protect and get the most heat on our people who are going to be here. That's the way I view it. And everyone was talking about TNA. So, but anyways, though, it was reported from PWI that Mike Santana has not arrived at tonight's TNA Turning Point event. Santana did not appear for a scheduled meet and greet after the last night's taping. And the word making the way around talents is that Santana has not returned to the company's call or text. Now, the sheets, they love getting leaked too. They love when these wrestlers pick up the phone and call them when they want to trash Tegan Nox and shit. You get 100 people calling them and they're leaking and stooging all this shit. Right? And then like you get the sheets who like brag about their sources and all this shit, but then people run to them to leak this story allegedly and try and get allegedly and to get people talking about TNA. And then they're all like, oh, well, the person who told us this doesn't usually come this way. I forget who was saying all this, but this is from PWI that initially reported this shit, right? So moving along here, because it turns out that this was a work here. So there's been an assumption from some that last night's angle with Mike Santana losing the TNA World title was to facilitate him leaving for NXT, but no one on the WWE side has confirmed that was the case, according to Mike Johnson. So they're saying that nobody confirmed he's going to WWE, but he totally could be going to WWE. Either way, everyone's talking about and speculating on TNA. So here's Tryon Bryan's take on this shit, because he just wants to artificially trash NXT, and then he wants to take any time he gets the chance to take a shot at TNA, he wants to take it. Right? So that's why it's Tryon Bryan trying way too hard here.
You ever had one of those days where you're about to talk about something, but there's news that overshadows everything? Did you hear what happened on the TNA Live special tonight?
I just gotten word of it, yes.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? So, guys, this is the part I might have been muted for as well. I think I was. They are about to announce a TV deal, and the hype of the TV deal died down. I thought Carlos Silva was going to like whip it out at Bound for Glory or something, right? That never happened. But this live show, this notion of them live on Thursdays, what have I been telling you this whole time? They want to make this show seem can't miss. The world title changed hands, and we're getting more hype on Turning Point, which is like our PLE. And this live show, anything can happen, and we're going to announce this TV deal in 2026. And this is a show where we want to show strong numbers, ending the year as strong as we can, or whatever the fuck, man. That's all they're trying to do. There's some thought process going on like that is involved in this as well, that you have to put into the equation. Okay, so he's just like, did you see this bullshit? But it's like, no, dude. This is live TV. Like, they're trying to shake things up. And this news, even Brian said it. You ever have one of those days where the news just inserts? You were going to talk about AEW or some bullshit no one cares about. Tony's on a $350 million mega yacht, Steamboat Tone. He don't give a fuck about you, Brian. You were just going to lick his cheeks a few times, okay? You don't need to do that. Hype up TNA. Get hype for this, man. And this is just like the fucking whatever. If you didn't like it, that's fine. But just being like, oh, fucking it's just like the layman's take on this, in my opinion. Like,
TNA gonna
really think about it. There's more to. There's a reason they did this. They're not just like collapsing and then they're laughing. TNA gonna TNA. What's so like? If you watch it, man, Kazarian, they've been heating him up. Like, I'm surprised. I mean, I thought we were gonna get to like Nemeth Kazarian for that title. I think we had that match too. And then they both won that Feast or Fire. So they're still kind of teasing that. But I thought Kazarian was going to like get it off Nemeth or something like that. So I just don't know why people are so shocked. Whatever. I've harped on this.
I guess.
Oh my God.
It will never not be TNA.
After all these fucking years, they finally, after all these years, made Frankie Kazarian champion at the expense of immediately taking the title off Santana.
Yeah, I will summarize as best I can. Bound for Glory is the biggest show of the year. Mike Santana finally wins the TNA title back from Trick Williams. They didn't take a month off. They came out tonight alive.
It is fucked because it was a month off, but then that could be part of the story too. Like, we were gone for a month, whatever the fuck. It was our off season in TNA. Like, you could flip it as well, but that, I think, is where people were like, "What the fuck? He doesn't even get one defense, and we haven't even seen him after a month off. We haven't even seen him, and he just loses the title." But again, live TV, the live factor. Hey, we're making waves here on Thursdays. Guys, why do you think that is? Just really think about it,
Show, nothing advertised. That's not quite true. There was 1 or 2 matches advertised. Mike Santana defending his world championship for the first time was not advertised.
Of course not.
No. And
sure this is an NXT we're talking about here. Did Ava make some call?
Ava would never be this dumb. And yes, Frankie Kazarian beats him apparently in less than a minute too. So.
Well, they had there was a big schmoz and a bunch of NXT guys ran in and Charlie Dempsey was there and some others. And then there was a cash in. It was a big schmoz.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I've been told I have to.
They didn't just start the match and he pinned him in a minute. They did a cash in gimmick.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, it's that what was the thing called? Him and Nemeth both won the thing.
You ever had one of those days where you
Yeah, it's just the shock value of like the way everybody talked about Evolution 2 and shit. People just, that's what it is. You have NXT Gold Rush coming up that TNA is involved in. It's shocking that he lost, but that's the point, right? So I guess we've made that point here. It's shocking. But speaking of shock, okay, shock and awe. There was some awe. JDC Fandango Curtis here. Johnny Curtis announced that he will be retiring from in-ring competition following TNA Genesis in January. So pulling a John Cena, and at the tippy top of the year, he is out of wrestling.
Decided that after Genesis in January that I'm going to be retiring from in-ring action.
Do-do.
I didn't want to just throw this at you guys out here, but I want to do it here in Orlando in this arena at Full Sail because this place means the world to me. And I'm so grateful for the last 27 years I've spent in this business. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for the WWE. I'm grateful for TNA. I spent a lot of time being ungrateful in this business, but right now, I'm telling you that I'm very grateful for my last couple years here at TNA. This is the best locker room I've ever been in, and I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Hell yeah. Shout out JDC, man. So Desmond Xavier, FKA Wesley, is returning to TNA. The Rascals teased a reunion with a fourth member, etc. It happened. Where the fuck else? What else was he going to do? This is what the people wanted. Okay. They want the Rascals all back together, all four.
Welcome home, Desmond Xavier. It's a heartwarming homecoming
All four brothers back again. That rules. Good for them.
moment from world goodbye. They've been dreaming that they dream family. The Rascals threw down this challenge last night live on Impact, and you can see in the eyes of Trey McEllis across the ring.
The Wesley Dez, there he is, back with the Rascals, is as it should be, right? As it's supposed to be. So Gerard says the Santana news about him not answering calls is a work. Sorry, I skipped this. The same official at TNA tried to feed that to us and provided it elsewhere. Normally, we wouldn't blast something like that, but this is the first time someone in any official capacity reached out and provided us a worked angle in an effort to specifically work our audience. Bro, the the dirt sheets are just such a fucking joke, bro. Just all of them. They're just so like, we got worked. They tried to deceive us. We're real news. So yeah, I guess these TNA officials taking advantage of the relationship they've established with Fightful and other publications and trying to, I guess, work them now, which I think is the majority of what wrestling companies, or at least what WWE's been doing for a long ass time. Surprised it took TNA this long to catch on to that's what you're supposed to do. So speaking of things you're supposed to and not supposed to do, Sexy BJ Ray from WWE LFG was recently let go. He was at Turning Point and was heckling Kalani Jordan, well, because he knows her.
Bro, hey, yo. This is crazy.
This is like a different match, but he's just talking shit. This is a video from his thing, but he was also heckling at Kalani Jordan. Now, I know that's tough. Like, oh, you're at a wrestling show. How are you heckling? Well, he's like yelling at her. It's like when Enzo showed up or Shane Douglas and tried to disrupt Raw or whatever the fuck, you know?
Bro, hey, yo. This is crazy. Bro, I clap these guys easy, bro. I clap these doors easy. Bro.
So he's trying to like make a name for himself there. I think Mance was in the ring, Mance Warner, but Mance Warner's like bought a ticket, sat in the crowd, freshly shit canned, trying to clown on talent who are getting paid to fight. Good luck on the indie run business. Good luck on the indie run. The business ain't for everyone. You're a poet and didn't know it. Oh, go. Yeah, and then like SDL responded too. So I don't know if they're doing this again. Are they trying to like work an angle here? Is this TNA saying like we're gonna do work shoots? We're actually gonna bring this kid in. Because here's the thing. When SDL and Mance jump on it, I don't know. It makes me go, they both jumped on this, but Steph goes, you paid a ticket to come and watch us. Stay on that side of the barricade where you belong. I want this to be a work, and I want TNA to bring this kid in, but he might be working himself. Like, maybe that's why WWE let him go. Like, they're like, no, he truly doesn't get it. You know, because there was times even on the LFG show where you're just like, what the fuck? Like, obviously they're working this, and then he gets released, or you see Bubba, like at one point he got physical with him in a way where it just seemed like it wasn't supposed to be part of the show, and you're like, where he shoved him down the thing. He's like, get the fuck out of it. Like, he seemed genuinely pissed. It's like, does this kid just not get it? But maybe they're starting to do work shoots and whatnot, and that's part of the Santana no show and leaking shit to the leaking shit to the sheets and whatnot. That could be maybe a new approach, or this guy just fucked around and is trying to like get signed somewhere. And then BJ Ray was like, you are my new celebrity crush. So it's like, are they working? I'm giving that a like for a work. I smell a work and income in here. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was TNA news. At 613805 has been a member for 10 months. Thank you so much for your membership. I appreciate that so much. And Sauce Inc. Breaking news: Dave Meltzer stole my butt plug and won't give it back. All hail the Illuminati. Right? And Charlotte Flair's theme: all hail the Illuminati. And then Charlotte's theme: No, sorry, I'm just gonna hum beats to you guys. Okay, thank you so much. A member for 15 goddamn months, man. Wow, amazing. I acknowledge members, guys. You can super chat in. You can gift a membership around the holiday season, or become a member. Acknowledge me. Appreciate that shit. We have over 200 watching across X and YouTube. There's well over 100 watching and chat on YouTube. So run the likes on the video up, even if you're hate watching. Just hit like, okay? Fuck around here. You know you love this shit. Okay, so let's move along here, ladies and germs. What do we got next on the docket? Some good stuff. Let's stick with WWE because I was talking about WWE quite a bit, and we did bring up Cardona, and we were talking about SmackDown and all that. So yeah, let's do that. Matt Cardona. God damn it, I got to change his name on my 2K now. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WWE. So WWE, in partnership with Choose Chicago, today announced that it will return to the United Center in Chicago for WWE Elimination Chamber on Saturday, February 28th, 2026. So the Chamber in Chicago, that should be fun. And War Games heating up now. AJ Styles reveals why he thinks WWE won't let him wrestle in TNA. He says, I get it, man. I really do. I was hoping that this would happen. I really was. But then I realized it probably never could as far as WWE letting me do that. And I'll tell you why. It's because as soon as I open those gates for the main roster talent, now everybody's going to want to do it. I don't know if it's going to happen, if I'm being honest, but I would like to. Well, here's how you remedy that. You just have a team meeting and go, we're not letting anyone do this but him. Got it, guys? It's AJ fucking Styles. If you don't understand that, I'm sorry. That's on you, but everyone, we're just letting, and if we ever sign Samoa Joe, maybe you can do one there. You know what I mean? But like everybody else, shut the fuck up. It's really that simple. But he says, I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm being honest, but I would like to. Don't get me wrong. What a moment it was when I was able to go back. But yeah, I just don't see that much, that match. I don't see it happening as of right now. So unfortunate. Paul Walter Hauser says WWE will become this douchey uppity thing due to high ticket prices. And it's like, you're high, dude. This uppity thing. The fuck you talking about, man? It could be to some degree, but I just think it's gone the opposite way. Like we're seeing AEW with the lowest prices, and they're the most snooty, uppity, and poor people don't like AEW, and he associates with that show no problem. We have the TNA holes who've been getting fucking
poor
kicked
people
around
don't like AEW
the last couple of days, and I don't think they're hoity-toity. I don't think WWE fans are very hoity-toity about it. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know. Moving along here. So CM Punk and Roman Reigns recording some lines for Zootopia 2. They're the Zebros.
Zebro! 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 Zebro!
It's awesome that they're in it together. Both repping WWE and both in that movie, they're like a duo. Z Braxton and Zebrowski. And I think they're like cops or something.
Roman Reigns. I'm Zebro Zabrowski.
Or they're just like Letterman jacket jockey zebras or what?
He's Zebro Zabraxton. So I'm not sure if we're related or if we're just zebras, but we're both cops.
Cops. Okay, there you go.
It's so odd. It's odd to play a cop. It's odd to play a zebra, but it was just so fun, voicing this character. So I'm excited to see it on the big screen. Roman.
Hell yeah. So moving along here and other just thises and that's. Nikki Bella talks about how the hate against her is so gross. And she just says it's really nice because I feel like more people who have credibility are really starting to speak up for me. I don't know, man. I'm not going to read all this cope. Should I read all this cope? It's just like, bro, and now you're healing. Like, you want people to hate you. Who gives a fuck? They're talking about you. She says, but it's nice for these people with credibility are speaking up because I think at the end of the day, they all know how much I love this business, how much passion I have for wrestling. They know the work that I put in. Yeah, I mean, I've always been a Bella Twins fan. I don't, when people hate on them so hard, I don't get it. I understand they're not like the greatest wrestlers in the world. In the era they were in, they were trying to wrestle. Like Nikki and Brie towards the end, they were trying to wrestle. And Nikki's really trying to wrestle her ass off now. And back in the time when they were a thing, like when they first came in and when they sort of rose to prominence, I mean, you were in a weird mix of like, okay, there's some girls who can really go, and then there's some who really fucking can't and are just here for looks. And we're in like this weird PG era but we're still treating you guys as like second-rate wrestler, or you gals rather, as like second-rate wrestlers and giving you 4 minutes or whatever the fuck. And I don't know. It's you got to give the Bellas credit for what they did and their longevity when it evolved to more like we're wrestlers now. Like when Paige, AJ Lee, like maybe even after that, because AJ Lee and Natty were kind of in that mix. It's not like Beth Phoenix couldn't wrestle, but there was still like the Oxanas and shit like that. So she transitioned when like the 4 Horsewoman came up eventually and stuff. Nikki Bella was like, I think just on the tail end, and now she's back and looking great. So yeah, it's good that people praise you, but lean into it now. You're a fucking heel. Now would have been the time to lean into that bullshit. You know, speaking of leaning into stuff and TNA, which AJ Styles was just talking about, Joe Hendry is officially signed with WWE. So again, Phil don't miss. They let him out a little early like they did Jordan Grace. TNA, I guess, agreed to, you know, just let him pursue WWE, and why not? And I thought he was going to be the mystery opponent on SmackDown, but he still could be the one on the Raw bracket, on the Raw side of the Last Time Is Now tournament. We're going to talk about that in a bit. The weird Lucha Libre controversy of the day is Tene Blas Jr. seeing this Axiom fellow being advertised for a AAA show and complaining on IG that Axiom is ripping off his mask. So Axiom is going to be in AAA, and then here's this guy saying he ripped off my mask. Me and like Axiom stole my shit. Somebody pulled this. Now this just reminds me of like I don't know, like Power Rangers type shit. What are the other ones called? There's other ones like Super Suit Sentai or whatever the fuck. It just reminds me of something like that. But here's another guy from, this is in Japanese, right? And this guy said, what happened to Lasertron? Hector Guerrero. So Hector Guerrero wore a similar, and yeah, Lasertron, this guy wrote it in Japanese. Exactly. It reminds me of like those, there's one on the tip of my tongue. I just can't think of it. Either way. So yeah, this guy's heated. I guess he thinks Axiom ripped him off. I mean, it's a fucking mask, buddy. There's only so many designs, right? No. But yeah, Joe Hendry officially signed with WWE as a report from Fightful. He's now expected to be full-time with WWE, as listed internally on the NXT roster. PWI reports that the belief was that Hendry would sign a contract with WWE once his TNA deal expired this coming December, but WWE stepped in to acquire his deal early. So again, called it. So Triple H has been deposed in the WWE shareholder lawsuit. Right? So say his name and he appears in court. Russian pole dancer and rhythmic gymnast Jessica Bogdanov has officially signed with NXT, PWI reports. So I guess this lady here is a pole dancer, former rhythmic gymnast, freestyle calisthenics world champion in 2015, represented by Wilmina Models. So she's a model as well. And they signed her up to the federation. So rhythmic gymnast Jessica Bogdanov. So we'll see her in NXT in the near future, I suppose. So sources cited, this is according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and Dave Meltzer said that sources cited that WWE's issues with West Side Gun were his use of a photo of Ted DiBiase and Virgil in the Times Square, and that his no sources didn't cite this, Dave. He said this on his Instagram, posting on social media that they were bored and sleeping during SummerSlam while in a suite at the stadium. Okay, so his entourage was tweeting, we're bored at SummerSlam, and that they're falling asleep in a suite at the stadium. Now, maybe that's true. I'm not sure. What this all sounds like is forum bullshit, message board, Dave Meltzer, Wrestling Observer, message board bullshit. And then Dave is just saying sources indicated this stuff that he said publicly, and that some Mark said on my fucking message board. That's what this sounds like to me, but obviously that's what it is. West Side Gun said it. They fucking sent me a letter. about the Ted DiBiase shit. Okay, that's why you got kicked out. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's that fucking simple. So speaking of that simple, the WWE Live Holiday Tour at the Hertz Arena. Hertz Donut. Ew. The WWE Live Holiday Tour on December 30th, 2025 has sold 3,054 tickets. The current setup is for 5,215. Pretty crazy for a fucking live event, but that's what they do, man. And NXT garnered its largest audience since mid-October. However, the 18 to 49 rating was down from last week. So NXT averaged 554K viewers, up 5% from last week, with a 0.07 in the key demo, down 12.5%. Oof! Ooh, shit! Year over year, NXT was down 12, while in the 18 to 49 was down 56%. And so, yeah, I've seen some sickos say shit like, oh, AEW's winning the key demo war and all. Like, they're just repeating Meltzer. Meltzer now, because Meltzer then would say overall viewers. But, yeah, I mean, this rating wasn't so great, and that key demo was not so great. NXT has been... I mean, whatever. I got to be honest, since the TNA invasion stuff died down, it hasn't been as like, and like it's still going on, guys. We just saw NXT invade TNA now, right? And it's still there. Like we're still seeing Joe Hendry and shit, but he just signed, I guess, so he's officially WWE. But up until like yesterday, he's TNA, right? But NXT's been, not that it hasn't been good, but it's been like whatever. NXT's typically my favorite, like overall, it's like my favorite wrestling show, has been for a while. Raw's been really good lately, like really good. A few misses, of course, you're gonna have some misses. SmackDown, they're trying to spice it up. Okay, SmackDown is trying their damnedest to spice things up and give us some swerves and whatnot. And I'm here for it, Eric. I'm here for a healthy SmackDown. And speaking of healthy, man, SmackDown is about to get healthier because it is set to move back to 3 hours beginning January 2nd, 2026. SmackDown going back to 3 hours. So who's into that? Who doesn't like it? Let me know. I think everybody was starting to enjoy that. I say everybody, we're speaking in generalities. I think everybody was starting to enjoy the 3 hour format, and then it went back down to 2. Now there's conspiracy theories afoot where people are like, well, that Braun Strowman show did so good, they're trying to steal that hour away from him, or whatever the fuck. I don't know, man. It did 500K or whatever. SmackDown will crush that and do way more. Maybe the people at USA know that. Who fucking knows? But they talked about it could go back to 3 hours, and like they talked about that a long time ago. So I'm not shocked by this. I'm okay with it. It caused a bunch of melties. That third hour, maybe the view. Well, WWE knows how to make it so their third hours like spike in ratings, though. Like they know how to book it so that I know people don't like start with some shit that's really hot and then announce the match for later tonight. They've done that forever in WWE, but it fucking works, man. And it works for them and it works for NXT. So that's why they do that, right? It sucks that they always go to that, but it's a 3 hour show. They have to do that, you know? And SmackDown's trying. They're trying really hard to get people more excited for the show and more interested in the show. I've been pretty harsh on SmackDown lately. This one last night was pretty good in comparison, but maybe that's just because I'm putting so much on like, okay, that Zack Ryder pop was huge and that was awesome. And they set up some like Dave Meltzer getting owned was just the cherry on top with Drew showing up, right? It was just chef's kiss seeing that happen because Dave's like, oh, well, Drew's going to be gone he's doing a movie, Brian. And it's like, no. And yeah, Dave People are just telling him like old bullshit, guys. So remember, I was like, hey guys, there's gonna be a WWE guy. Drew's got some shit coming up, and da 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 da. And then what happened? He got announced for Highlander, but Henry Cavill got injured, and I came on the show. I told you guys, I was like, oh yeah, so I don't know when Drew's gonna. I don't know if he's filming. He probably's got. It's gonna be a year. That production got halted on that film for a year. Not to say he doesn't have other roles, but nah, dude, he's open right now, you know. And so he's gonna be in War Games. I thought that was like fairly obvious because isn't War Games like it's unsanctioned or whatever? And even though they're like you're suspended, it's like okay. This is just a beat to this. I thought, anyways, but it's all good. I mean, I don't know how much Dave really pays attention to WWE and shit, but he's like hearing old faulty info or just like making shit. Like, who knows where he pulled that up? Maybe he just assumed Drew is so famous now he's doing movies, or someone tried to leak his old schedule to him or some dumb shit. It's like, Dave, just ask Niccolo Piccolo. Don't ignore him. Just ask him. He's in your replies every time you put a fucking tweet out. Just ask him, dude. But either way, the 3-hour format hopefully helps boost SmackDown a little bit. But speaking of Drew, you know, he joined the Vision. Now, did he? And here's the thing. Wrestling News Co. goes, this is how Drew McIntyre needs to be presented. Who's running this account? He's presented the exact same way. He's just aligned with this faction for this pay-per-view or PLE. He's not even going. I doubt he'd be in the Vision going forward. Right? It's just a lot of people. Heyman's got like a Camp Heyman going on where it's just like a bunch of people joining him, like a Heyman's family, but they're not like Brock Lesnar's with Heyman again, but he's not in the Vision. But he'll align with the Vision if it's so, you know, whether he's in it or not, that remains to be. I'm not saying they couldn't be, but just like this is how Drew needs to be presented. What, attacking someone with a claymore out of nowhere? You mean like what he already does? What the fuck are you talking about? So either way, sorry, I'm just taking shots at Wrestling News Co. But Drew joined up with the Vision for War Games, and then we're either going to get Roman Reigns or they're going to add people on the other side there, obviously, right? On the babyface side. And this is awesome. It's good to see Drew in a prominent position. I'm trying to think, who won the last men's War Games? And now, and well, speaking of War Games, fuck all that, okay? I think because like the baby faces, right? The last couple years in a row, it was baby faces won. So it'd be nice to see some heels maybe get a win in there. But then again, some people say like in War Games, the heel shouldn't win or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Either way, speaking of War Games, though, in Survivor Series, in a traditional, so this is what they pulled out on us. Originally, it was, I don't know if WWE formally announced it, but it was like the MFTs are taking on the Wyatt Six in War Games. And then, you know, Uncle Howdy hasn't been around because his dad's sick, unfortunately, and prayers up for the Rotundo family there. And then it seemed like they were sort of switching things up. And I told you guys, I was like, they might do 2 men's War Games this year. They might do they could do a 3-way War Games for one of these, or maybe it's just, you know, I was like, dude, they're setting up Sami Zayn with Shinsuke and Phoenix and these guys to possibly replace. Maybe they'll team up with some of the Wyatt Six to be in the War Games against the MFT, but WWE's cooking. And we threw out the theory, hey, maybe they're doing a traditional match. It would be awesome if they just did one traditional and one War Games. Why not that? Dude, they did it. They're doing a traditional Survivor Series elimination match between the MFT, Sami Zayn, Motor City, Shinsuke, and Rey Fenix. So that's awesome, man. I love that. Huge W for WWE. They announced it on SmackDown. I'm not going to play the clip.
5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series elimination tag team match.
That's awesome. That's better than War Games because it's not like blood feud level. It's just like, let's eliminate these guys and show them we're better. And then if the MFTs win, then they get shots at titles and shit like that. You know what I mean? That could be the incentive here. So huge W. And then you got the Avengers versus the You know, the superhero lineup versus the supervillain lineup, you know, the X-Men versus the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants in the men's war games. And then in the women's war games, kind of thrown together. Like they didn't even really need to do it. You know, I get that these women are all feuding each other, but their friendships are not really interwoven, but kind of. And then Charlotte walked out. She's like, I'm not doing this on SmackDown. She's like, I'm not going to be with the Kabukis or whatever. And a little bit of turmoil, but yeah, we know what's going to come of all of that. So War Games Survivor Series shaping up to be fun. And I'm so glad we get a traditional elimination match back. It's like about goddamn time. Speaking of about goddamn time, Matt Cardona was the mystery opponent, and I don't think many people were predicting Matt Cardona returning to WWE as the mystery guy. I personally thought it would be Joe Hendry, which still could be one. On the SmackDown side, I thought it could have been, like on the Raw side, Joe Hendry could show up there. And I thought it could have been Aldis, because it's like, what incentive does he have to not say the person's name? Matt Cardona being one. Okay. I mean, we could fansplain that as like, he's been called Matt Cardona in NXT, but he's coming back as Zack Ryder. So let's not say his name. So it's like a more of a shock, but that's like a kayfabe fan explanation. Obviously, I think Joe Hendry is going to be the other one. It's gotta be, because, and then they just announced they signed him fully, like officially. It's gotta be Joe Hendry, because you wouldn't say his name because then he appears, right? But I was holding out for Nick Aldis. Even if he lost the match, I was like, you know what? Him and LA Knight had matches in NWA, and Aldis wouldn't say his own name. But I like this. This is totally fine. I popped huge. The crowd popped hard. I popped huge for it. I popped for the fact that it was the old music, and I popped for the fact that it was Zack Ryder as well. Some people are clowning Zack Ryder, friend of the show, JJ, who on Patreon, by the way, told a fucking incredible Jonathan Coachman story over on the Tough Enough watch along where Coachman shows up. But Zack Ryder said he wouldn't come back to WWE unless it was with the name Cardona. And some people are clowning him for that. But he did come back to WWE as Matt Cardona in NXT. He did that. He did what he said. So I guess, again, if you want to explain it or speak on a technicality, he was right, actually. So I don't think we should clown him. Zack Ryder, though, came back, had a solid match. Crowd remembered his fucking moves. They were all woo, woo, wooing for him. Woo, 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 woo. When he went for the broski boot and started woo, woo, wooing, they all knew his shit. I mean, if that doesn't prove to you this motherfucker's been able to keep his name in the mix and fans remember him, and I don't know. And I think he'd be a great addition to SmackDown right now, with the US title picture being kind of like, well, okay, Shinsuke and Phoenix and them are kind of wrapped up in the War Games. Okay. The US title picture is like tag team guys who aren't, you know, but the Wyatts are busy right now. So now all the tag guys are going to fight Dragunov. A guy like Cardona, that would be a great boost to that US title division, in my opinion, man. Phoenix, Cardona, Shinsuke, who else is in the mix there? Dragunov, Sami Zayn. I think that's a great rotation you could have of guys who could compete in and around that US title picture, and maybe even Cardona, hey, maybe gets a shot at Rhodes, their buddies, but then Rhodes beats him. You know, he could get a WWE title shot on a SmackDown and then Rhodes beats him or whatever. That could work too. So I'm here for this. I'm excited for, as the boomers would say, I'm here for this. I'm excited for Zack Ryder. It's going to be hard because I spent so long getting the name Matt Cardona. Well, there's an update on this. Apparently he's not fully signed. We'll talk. I'm just fantasy Mark booking as if the dirt sheets had no fucking say in any of this, right? Or didn't influence anything. I'm just speaking on this moment itself and how I digested it in the moment. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it, and he had a solid match. He looks great, obviously, and it's cool that they did that. Now, there's rumors that even if it might have been a one-off. So Fightful Select says Matt Cardona isn't signed to WWE. And for now, the appearance on SmackDown is a one-off. Even if it was, cool. It's like when Vader randomly showed up and fought Heath Slater or whatever, you know? Like, sweet. I'm so glad we got that moment one time. And he looks great. And here's the thing, too, with these one-offs. It's somewhat of Ryder showing. You think WWE didn't hear the fans and see how good he looks and hear the fan this was WWE going, okay, we gave Cardona was pretty over on NXT there. And here's why I have a hard time believing this. I'm going all over the place, but this is WWE going, he got good reactions in NXT there, man. Maybe we'll try it, but you got to be called Zack Ryder. And if you know what I mean? We'll try this on SmackDown. Also, Chelsea Green's on SmackDown. So, I mean, usually they stick people where their fucking spouses are. Could this be a sign of, yeah, this is like a one-off. He's still under a TNA deal, but hey, it's coming up right away because they do 6-month, 9-month, 3-month deals, and he could be on SmackDown right away? I hope so. I hope WWE saw this and went, oh, yeah, let's sign this guy. You know, people remember him. He looks great. He had a decent match there. And then him and LA Knight also shook hands after. There was like a video promo of that where like him and LA Knight shook hands and LA Knight gave him respect and all this shit. LA Knight was a solid opponent for him too. And then LA Knight got the win, which was the correct fucking thing to do when it's Cardona. Yeah. And that's what I was worried about with LA Knight. I was like, bro, are they going to have Hendry beat LA Knight? That's crazy. But it did give the vibes of like, this is a one-off. Like it felt like, here's a little treat for you guys. But you can't tell me that reaction and them knowing his moves and shit, that didn't open some eyeballs to like, hey, and Chelsea's here. I mean, okay, let's bring him back. Let's do it. I would love to see Cardona with Chelsea in his corner, and he could have her and Piper and start mixing it up with their stories and do his own thing and then be it could be like him and Ethan Page could team up eventually too. Maybe they all do that. Who fucking knows? Maybe he feuds Ethan Page. He's like, dude, get away from my chick or whatever. It could be whatever, or he'd say broski. But either way, WWE sources confirmed that there is a merchandise deal, and there is, which is why Ryder merchandise hit the website. Now, also, this is a W for Ryder and WWE in this way. Okay, I'm going to lay this one out for you guys. Let's lay out X-Files music. Even though this is just the X's and O's here, okay? This is just what it is. Maybe they struck a deal with him too. Like, okay, Ryder, you're in TNA, you're on the indies, you're kind of in WWE. We like you in NXT. We know we can phone you whenever to come do a match. Maybe you're like a surprise guy that can maybe show up in NXT or WWE or whatever. We'll start selling Zack Ryder merch again. You get a cut. It'll stay on the thing. And because here's the thing, Lana, CJ Perry, Lana has a fucking Legends deal. She's not a legend, but it's like a nostalgia or a whatever. WWE's down these days now. They're down with fucking signing people to like these IP deals where they can sell Zack Ryder shit, but he can go be Matt Cardona on the indies, but he's still getting a cut of that. And maybe they'll put him in the video game again. And maybe maybe he'll show up again. Maybe he'll have a bit of a run, but like maybe he just shows up in NXT whenever and he can work for TNA, whatever the fuck. But it's like, hopefully they work that out with him too, where it's like they can sell his shirts. He's getting a kickback, keeps his name relevant. He can show up on their YouTube shows the way Tyler Breeze wasn't a wrestler. He just showed up out of nowhere on NXT, but he like still kind of works for WWE. That's how WWE should have been treating their IP and their legends this whole time. Not, hey, fuck you, we own this, and you can blah, 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 blah. But again, that's more of it's not like Vince McMahon knew that this is the way the business was going to go. But at the end of the day, people want nostalgia. They want to be able to buy people get it. Wrestling fans aren't dumb. And that's the thing too. People are mad that Triple H doesn't treat the wrestling fans like retards. They get mad about that. And it's weird. It's like, no, we get it. He's Matt Cardona for the sickos and the real hardcore wrestling, but he's Zack Ryder to the casuals and their kids. And some people were diehard. There's people who wanted Zack Ryder to be world champion at one point. Okay. So he could come back. He could have a match with Cena. Well, I guess not now. That would have been good though. Matches just here and there, a nostalgia factor, I guess, and still work on the end. If WWE's down with that, that's just better for everyone involved. And it just shows you WWE's down to like mend bridges, and even a cocky Triple H who talked shit about Cardona back in the day. Why? Because he was a fucking wrestler at that time. Triple H was in the office, yes, but he was still politicking. He's still burying guys. He's still trying to get himself over. And that's why people like MVP will never forgive Triple H. Okay, it's just because he was in the locker room with him at a time when he was trying to get over, and Triple H was there in the boss's ear fucking telling them who to push and who not to push and whatnot. Okay, so Cardona, it just shows that Triple H is at least down to like mend more fences, at least in my opinion. Yeah, I'm glad that he's back, whether it's a one-off or not. It was an awesome moment on that SmackDown. Is it going to blow the ratings up through the roof? I don't know about all that. But Cardona, dude, he outdrew AEW. He outdrew himself in AEW on a GCW show in the same building, attendance-wise. And now he's back in the WWE rotation. And yeah, I'm happy for it, and I'm happy for him. Like, how do you see him and his wife this fucking happy and shit on this, find a way to clown him because of his name? I don't know, man. Not me. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was WWF News, Worldwide Wrestling. So let me check in with chat here. Fat Factor Creation for 10. Thank you so much for the super chat. That means a lot.
Acknowledge me.
Dirt Sheets get offended when TNA or WWE try to work a shoot. The whole IWC, they get mad when you get worked, bro. They get mad when you get worked. They get mad when your fucking opinion doesn't align. It's just crazy. Also, Dirt Sheets, start frothing over the checks notes rumored angle for Omega versus Okada to fix the Meltzer star system. Dude, yeah, they're bonkers. And thank you, Fat Factor. You're always talking about sumo, right? I covered that Kosei, that 16-year-old sumo prodigy, earlier in the show. So make sure you catch the replay, or you go back and why it was like the first thing we talked about tonight. And thank you so much. Sauce Inc. for 5 says, bruh, you sent in 2 of the exact same super chat, I believe. Oh, no. So, you're doing Vince Russo. I'm like, what is this? Bro, I don't even know what you're doing. Bro, let me tell you what Mike Sauce is. Bro, get them likes up to 100. I invented the like button, and I invented Stone Cold Steve Austin. Bro, I let me tell, bro, I swear to God, bro, get them likes up. I invented the like button, and I invented Stone Cold Steve Austin. You super chatted the same thing twice. Thank you so much. I need a Vinny Roo on the soundboard, but I just like my own impression so much. I acknowledge you, Sauce. Thank you so much for the super chats and the support. I appreciate that. What's chat saying here? IWC got mad when Shinsuke Nakamura was in the world title match against Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a bit. Guys, run the likes up too. There's over 230 watching on X and YouTube. I know well over 100 are watching on the Clips channel. Hit like on that goddamn thing. My daughter popped for him, and she's as casual as it gets. The IWC has become so sensitive to anything Triple H says, all the while calling Triple H super sensitive. Hilarious. It's projection. They're projecting. Right on, guys. Okay, let's get into some more hot news. We're flying tonight, man. Let's go. There's a UFC on, and I know that the prelims are on, and I do want to watch them, but we have tons of AEW news, and also the pay-per-view itself is on the East Coast. It doesn't start till later. So, yes, I'm excited for that. Shout out UFC. So man, we have some funny AEW news. Are you guys ready for this? We got 2 tone videos. Tony Two-Tone. Okay. Fat Factor says, oh, teenage sumo Rikishi beating veterans in the lower divisions is pretty regular. They get put into the pro divisions right out of school. Dude, I love it, Fat Factor. I said it. I was like, where's Fat Factor? He's always got sumo lore and shit. Phil, JD has started using your impression of him literally because he shouted it out on his show. He's like, are you guys over there watching that Pro Wrestle Times? Oh, are you over there now? I'm over here now. Right? Was he doing like, I know that he's like, are you guys watching Pro Wrestle Times show? Like your JD impression's not quite on point. It's like, yeah, dude, I know it evolved over time. You're Dice now. It's mine now. Oh, go. Right? You became Dice, dude. That's what happened. But shout out JD, honestly. Yeah, I would love to chop it up with him sometime. I don't think we agree on everything. I think we agree on a lot of shit now, more that like he's really woke up to AEW's bullshit, and like, and then Chi-Town Spark just sits there and goes, man, yeah, I mean, I wish I could have had a rebuttal to that. And it's like, you fucking don't, bud. But if he's doing Jay Dice, if he's doing he did the whole shtick, hickory dickory dock. Oh, man. Yeah, dude, that's good. It's funny. I'm surprised he didn't start doing it earlier, but JD is a real serious mobster. Let me ask you about the cannoli. When it's like, when he's all serious, when he's like serious, but then when he gets like, when he gets turned up, what is that, like a fucking cocktail? That's when he's Dice, right? So it's like dual. It's same with Tony. There's like, Tony Khan, everything's fun. But then there's like, Tony, I'm getting overwhelmed and things are everything's great. I swear to God, guys. There's like two levels to it. So shout out JD. Anyways. Let me drink some iced coffee. Everybody hydrate. Hydration station. Let's all hydrate a little bit. Iced coffee probably dehydrates you. Let's be honest, but we have chat. We have everybody in the chat all together now. Ichi Nissan da. Time for AEW news. And it's time for a little the best guys Tony Khan, but we'll get there in a second. In this segment, Blood and Guts reaction news. Tony Khan, we got Steamboat Tony is back on his boat, right? And so let's get right into things. I absolutely can't wait. Okay. There's so much silliness going on. And so on November 12th, AEW filed to trademark AEW Tidal Wave. Let's rank these fucking, oh my God, these are terrible names. Okay. AEW Tidal Wave. What? AEW Blitz. What? AEW Firestorm. What? That's Darby Allin's. It'll just be Darby Allin, a compilation of him doing fire spots. And then AEW Fire. What? At the ends of time, we're gonna burn it down. Right? So AEW Firestorm and AEW Fire. It's like, what the fuck? What could these possibly be for? He's setting up a new show? Do they move Collision to after Dynamite and then make a new show? And then it's funny too, because it's like AEW Tidal Wave. Like, Bischoff did the whole Nitro and then Thunder, and then Tony Khan's ideas are like Blitz, Fire. It's like fire, it's like thunder, but it's fire. It's great. It's great. I don't know. Those all as names of shows, that's like as TNA as it gets, in my opinion. But they trademark all of those names, so let's see what comes of it. Speaking of what comes of things, Jim Ross hits us with a health update, and he said, "By God, King, I'm better today than I've been in a long time." And he also confirmed that he sold his Florida condo and has officially moved back to Norman, Oklahoma. Good. He announced he plans to return to AEW commentary in the next few weeks, King. Excited about the opportunity. I fucking hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't come back to commentary there, because this is where he goes to these hotels. He falls down and shit, or he fell in an airport that one time or whatever. I just don't want to fucking hear about him getting injured and hurting himself and all of these things. Okay? Moving along here. So, let's see. The deadline for Paramount, Comcast, and Netflix to submit non-binding first-round bids is next week for Warner Bros. Discovery. This is courtesy of Raj Giri. November 20th, per WSJ, WBD hopes to complete the auction process by the end of the year. So there you go. It's starting to become crunch time here. Former WWE star BJ Ray reacts to a "We Want BJ Ray" sign at AEW Blood and Guts. And he says, shall we give them people what they want? So you got to give him credit. He shows up to the TNA turning point or whatever, trying to get attention. And maybe that's not the best way to go about it. And then obviously this is a plant. Like, he DM'd somebody, he did a podcast appearance, or he hit somebody up and was like, that's his friend or something. Hey, will you hold up a sign if we want, or something like that. It has to be. Or maybe this guy's really a fan of BJ Ray and follows him on Twitter and is just one of these AEW sickos who's like, yeah, let's fucking get BJ Ray in here. No one knows who the fuck that guy is. All right. And as much as I put him over too, it's like, unless he makes noise like this, we're not going to talk about him, but we're talking about him. So this didn't really galvanize, though. I think people are just overlooking this BJ Ray shit. They're like, who gives a fuck? But, he's trying to make waves. He wants the crowds chanting for him, or he wants to try and get hired by TNA or AEW. So hopefully he's successful in that. If I were him, though, I'd try like NWA or something. Right? Because they, I think, would be, and not to shit on them, I'm just saying that would be a place where he could develop a little more and they would actually hire him. You know, but maybe he's aiming for the big dogs because he wants like a good paycheck, but he was at like the lowest level of WWE. So I don't really know what kind of paychecks he was getting at the time, right? Like, I don't even think he was on NXT or whatever. So moving along here on Saturday, this is about a week ago. On Saturday, Samoa Joe served as the Navajo Warriors' final opponent, returning to the Indies after a decade away. And he entered in familiar fashion. Let's check out the Navajo Warrior
right there. But
and he comes out to fucking dun 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 dun. What is that? Pharaoh Munch, right?
You talk about a villain. Look no further.
Oh no, is that just the intro to his shit? It sounded like Pharaoh Munch. Get the fuck up.
Joe is getting the same response as Nav.
It's a sight, a sound that Samoa Joe has missed over the past decade. From ROH to TNA to WWE to AEW. There's something about a room like this that feels like home to Samoa Joe, especially in there with a man who's been alongside him since day one in the form of the Navajo Warrior.
And think about where this man is.
Hell yeah, dude. Show the Navajo Warrior too. So MVP reveals that he signed an extension with AEW. He says, recently I signed an extension and I'll be with AEW for quite a while in my current capacity and hopefully beyond in a managerial capacity and to whatever extent possibly behind the scenes. I'm very happy where I'm at right now in my career at this stage to be able to continue to contribute to the business and make money with my friends and entertain at the level that we're still able to maintain. I appreciate Tony Khan for giving me, Bobby, and Shelton an opportunity to get the team back together for a final run, and the future looks bright. I could see Cedric showing up here soon too. Not to blow up his spot, but just be on the lookout for that. And good for MVP. It seems like Tony, if we're to believe Husey, did you guys notice I added the new fucking
allegedly?
But then now there's
allegedly.
Allegedly, right? When he was on the show, he was saying that like Edge and Christian re-signed long-term deals is what he's hearing with AEW. And if that's the case, then they're also signing up MVP. I just see Tony Khan throw in a fucking boatload of cash at Chris Jericho to stay there. But speaking of making boatloads of cash, this guy getting paid from 2 companies at once here. No, I don't know if that's the case, but Andrade, hopefully he worked Tony Khan into a signing bonus though, right? And then he gets paid for that appearance and gets a big fucking signing bonus. And then, oh, I'm actually under a contract. Peace out. See you guys never. It is reportedly claimed by some people close to the situation that Andrade's non-compete is worldwide and not just for the United States. So stupid, dummy, dumb Dave Meltzer, okay? We'll crack flutes in the chat for this one. So fucking dummy Dave Meltzer goes, it's reportedly claimed by some people close to the situation that Andrade's non-compete is worldwide, not just for the United States. But you said before that he was allowed to compete in Mexico and that you were talking to people close to the situation who knew, people who know about the Andrade. He's allowed to compete in Mexico. And then just like 4 days later, oh, he's not allowed to compete in the it's not just for the United States, it's worldwide. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
Historically bad last couple of years. Buddy Matthews provided an update on his ankle injury, talking about a couple of years. Holy fuck, he's been gone forever. He says, today was the first time. Today was the first time since I'm not even gonna do it to hit a hack squat. I hit a hack squat. I know those hack squats, so I hurt a lot. Still very restricted with ankle mobility, but working on it daily. Numbness is still a factor, but hopefully fear is not a factor for me. It subsides in the near future, but still unknown at this time. Swelling depends on the amount of rehab I've done that day, but easily maintained with icing post. Take each day as it comes. I don't believe his fucking ankles even hurt this bad. I think he just is getting paid to stay home. No, it probably is. But he's milking it. That's what people, you guys you notice that in AEW? People just milk those injury leaves, right? Why the fuck wouldn't you? Okay, why wouldn't you? And happy American Thanksgiving, by the way. I don't know what exact day that's on, but happy to all of you. I don't know. Is that tomorrow? When is that for you guys? Ours was a month ago there, buddy, and our igloos there, bud. But yeah, Buddy Matthews hurt his goddamn ankle in Australia, and we know him and Rhea Ripley aren't celebrating Thanksgiving, but yeah, on that fucking janky ring, it's so fucked up. Even the tracks, even the WWE Tough Enough kids had a fucking proper ring to work out in. You know what I'm saying? So MVP says he agrees with Bret Hart's assertion that WWE CCO Triple H is a phony. He's a big fat phony. Is Thanksgiving 2 Thursdays from now? Sorry, I don't know when it is. I thought it was like this weekend for some reason for you guys. So yeah, I should know. It's like you guys are in America. It's like I know about every other fucking day. Thanksgiving to me is always like, what? That shit's in October. Yeah. I refuse to acknowledge it any other way. So he says, man, I agree with Bret's assertion. I've said before, I call him a coward and a liar. Let's put it like this. If you really want to, you can go to YouTube and you can look up the interviews of various wrestlers through the years of what their opinion is of the man. Interviews of guys that were his friends, what they had to say about the guy. I can think of more guys that dislike him than I can think of guys that do like him. And oh no, I've gone cross-eyed. People say MVP salty or bitter. Like, no, I have personal issues with the dude stemming from professional stuff. See, I fucking told you guys. But just the things that he does, how he carries himself, I just don't have respect for the guy. The newer generation, they don't know the guy yet. No, MVP. The newer generation know who he is now. Okay? They know who he is now. They know the person he is now. And when he was politicking with you backstage and taking your spot when people were like, MVP should be world champ. I remember those days. right? That's the people now don't even know him like that whatsoever. They think he's brilliant, and a lot of them should for the hand he's had in their career, but the guys that had to work with him back in the day will tell you a different story. This is why Edge and Christian don't give a fuck about going back to the Fed, guys. This is what, well, here's the thing. Jericho and Triple H always made good opponents. They always like worked well, but even they have stories of heat back in the day. Jericho's talked about it, how him and Triple H used to butt heads and shit. And how they were both politicky, and it's, you know, they sort of butt heads because of it. They think he's okay. There's guys who are way up the totem pole than me that are telling you that this guy's no bueno. Exactly. It's just different perspectives on things. So Stevie Richards had choice words for the AEW roster. And he said out loud what a lot of people think, and a lot of people will say, but it is a bold statement to say what he's about to say about Logan Paul and AEW. But I think a lot of people agree. Chat, you can let me know, or if you're listening to this in clip form, down in the comments or in chat right now, Logan Paul or the AEW roster, which is better? I say Logan Paul clears most of the roster. Now, Stevie Richards, I think, says he's a bigger star, which is true. If you want to isolate just in wrestling, I don't know. I think Logan Paul is a better wrestler than a bunch of the AEW guys, like the majority of the roster. Here's the thing, though. The majority of the AEW roster knows how to wrestle. They just don't, because they know what Tony likes, and they know what he expects, and they know what Meltzer likes, and they know what the Sickos want. And so that's why they go and do that. Like, Dave's told stories of PWG matches where Ricochet's like, I think it was Ricochet, like gave him a thumbs up or whatever in the middle of the match, and the crowd was chanting whatever the fuck. And like, Dave's over with that section of fucking Sickos, dude. So, when it comes to Logan Paul, it's like, he's a bigger star for sure than most people in wrestling in general. To say he's like a better in wrestling worker, I think he was just trained properly. And yeah, he operates at a level that this is some Kurt Angle shit, the way he's been able to come in and just have fucking bangers. You got to be honest about that. You know, I might not like his fucking Crypto Zoo scandals and all of that shit, but you have to be honest. Like, who on the AEW roster holds a candle to his promos and wrestling ability? Right? Let's be honest, Crypto. I think he's innocent now or whatever. But even like a Kenny Omega, I'm sorry, like Logan Paul's a bigger star, way better on the stick. Is he a better wrestler? You could argue, yeah. You know, you really could argue. Honestly, you could argue he is. Now, some people will say everything in WWE is premeditated. That's just not true. You can tell by how Cena's out there yelling spots out to his opponents, and the way Sheamus is out there calling spots. You can see it. Like, guys are just going out there, especially the vets. They're just going out there and working, man. Free flow. That's how all the greats did it. Mr. Kennedy was on Maven's channel. Maven here, talking about how him and Eddie Guerrero went out there and they just called everything in the fucking ring, you know? And so, do I think Logan could go out there and just call everything? I think he'd be able to hold his own. I think guys have gone out there with him and they've made him call it in the fucking ring. Obviously, you're going to pre-plan some spots, but like, yeah, they taught him the right way. I would have faith that he would be able to have a match with Okada for sure, right? Like, who are they saying that like Logan doesn't stack up to? An Omega? Dude, he's fucking had to slow it down. Like, could Logan Paul do all the shit Ospreay does? I'm pretty sure, dude. I'm pretty sure he could butterfly pile drive dudes on their necks. I'm pretty sure he could do suicide dives through the rope, clothesline on a doomsday or whatever the fuck, and land on his neck. I'm pretty sure he could do all that. I'm pretty sure he could do a Oz cutter, do the front flip handspring into the cutter. I'm pretty sure he could do all that shit. So, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I don't know if we're just, as far as star goes, it's not, you can't dispute it. As far as fucking pro wrestling goes, okay, I could see why some guys might take offense to that, like a Lashley or a Kyle O'Reilly, even like one of these guys with a fucking long career where they've put it down in different companies and shit, and with different styles, and like a Lashley, even though some people like, sickos would say Osprey's better than Lashley, even though he's been at the highest level in every company he's ever fucking been in, other than AEW, because they don't know how to fucking push the right guys. But or at least have Lashley threatening someone for that world title. I can't believe that hasn't happened yet. Most intimidating guy on your fucking roster. But either way, to make it about Logan Paul, I think you could argue that even as a sicko, when it comes to the wrestling, just the wrestling, he's up there, dude. Have we seen him have like a chain wrestling match with Chris Benoit the way Angle did and shit? No. And I'm not saying he's as good as Kurt, but the current landscape of pro wrestling, yeah, I'd say he's like the tippy top, especially for how quick he's done it. You mean in 5 years he's going to be better and have more psychology? Holy shit, he's already so good, So, anyways, this is what Stevie Richards, he said the quiet part out loud. Usually he's hating and is bitter.
And I won't make it
no. I'm going to say
easy.
Logan Paul is better than everybody in AEW.
Boom. He just said he's better than. So it's not about like whoever posted this clip said, or Heel Uzi says Paul is a bigger star than any and better. Oh, so he's just adding that extra shot. He's a bigger star and better. There you go. He is a bigger star. I mean, you can't argue that, but dude, he cleared it out right there. Stevie Richards spitting. I know some people don't like him and James Here's takes, and this one's controversial too, but I think we can all agree, dude, that it's at least he should be in the conversation.
I won't make it
no. I'm going to say
easy.
Logan Paul is better than everybody in AEW.
John Moxley.
Yes.
Darby Allin.
1000%.
Will Ospreay.
Yes.
Swerve Strickland.
Yes.
Kenny Omega. Young Bucks.
Yes.
Why? There's some big names there. Why is Logan Paul better than them?
Because he's a character.
And I won't.
It's true, man. It's true. There are guys like Samoa Joe and stuff like that you wouldn't. That it's like, okay, well, Joe's the fucking man, right? That you don't want to hate on in AEW, but like even Hangman, you see fucking Logan hit his shit way cleaner, and he does like a bit of what everybody can do. And yeah, he's saying he's better than everyone, better than even Swerve. Swerve's a character too, though, buddy. I don't know if you know that, and he gets heat for that shit. So, speaking of heat, Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful Select report that there are conspiracy theories that Tony Khan and AEW blocked Shinsuke Nakamura from wrestling Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, this is the fucking problem, dude. Dave Meltzer goes out there and tries to say, like, pin it on WWE. Well, Shinsuke wanted to do it and Tanahashi wanted to do it, but then WWE didn't let him, and that's why AEW swooped in and got Okada in the match. No, Dave, you're lying. It's not WWE's fault. And then when it comes to this, to Sapp here, he's saying that nobody from WWE had even heard of that being broached. Right. So just again, Fightful's been picking their spots to own Dave. I think it's funny. And say what you will about Fightful. You guys know I've done my fair share of roasts on them, just pointing out a positive, right? They fucking pick their spots to roast Dave, and I like it. Or to at least just like disprove his shit that he just fantasizes about. But who knows? This could be made up too. Who knows? Did they reach out to people in WWE? Apparently you got TNA sources working you guys purposefully now. Who fucking knows if anything that's being told to the dirt sheets is true ever. But either way, he says, New Japan always knew it was a pipe dream. Numerous New Japan sources confirmed there was no AEW shutting down that match. It was very clearly stated from a rep that there was no situation like that happening. Guys, this is what happened. I'm going to tell you guys what the fuck happened, okay? Tanahashi wanted Shinsuke. WWE didn't even really hear or know about it, or it came across their desk, and they're just like, we don't fucking know, man. Whatever. Before it even came across their desk, Tone just loves Tanahashi-san. Tanahashi loves Tone. Tone called him up and was like, please, Okada. It's got to be Okada. So it's not like a shutdown. It's just like, well, we're partnered together. So it's got to be Okada. Right, Right, Tanahashi-san? Sensei Tanahashi? As he's polishing Tanahashi's shoes, right? That's how this went down. So... yeah, I mean, you can't, AEW didn't shut it down, but WWE would have gave them Shinsuke, but they would have been like, you can't book AEW guys. or whatever. That's how it would have went down. It's obvious that if those rumors came out and people were like, yeah, in Nuge, they wanted Shinsuke. Okay, then Tanahashi fucking wanted Shinsuke. That's his dream. And then Tony Khan comes in and goes, well, I'll give you money and you can do Okada. And we're partners, remember? You're my friend. So then Tanahashi's like, oh, okay, we'll do fucking Okada. That's all it is, man. It's just maintaining relationships and what relationships they have and shit like that. So I don't want to put heat on anybody, even though we're going to give Tone all the heat in the world. But Daniel Garcia's comments on AEW's compilation of Moxley tapping out, cry emoji. And then he's just like, delete this. AI is wild. What the fuck? L. Jeff Jones. And then this guy, Wrestle Purists, puts a laughy cry. Oh, this is so funny. Why? Because Elboo's profile banner is him fucking hanging out with Daniel Garcia. Is that why this is cry emoji? Like, no one cares. New Japan reported. So this is from The Observer, okay? New Japan reportedly sold around 6,000 tickets for Wrestle Kingdom, Brian, following the announcement of Tanahashi versus Okada. So again, it's just like a technicality with Dave Meltzer here. Bass Meltzer's just flute Meltzer. It's just Feltzer. Yeah, just Feltzer, dude. Feltzer Meltzer. Dave Feltzer, man. We're just felting him. So here's the thing. He's trying to sit here. Dave is trying to pretend that like they announced Okada, 6,000 tickets got sold, which I could see that. Like Okada in Japan is, one of the fucking last draws they had. But they would have, it's in January, like in the new year. They're going to sell those tickets, I feel, regardless. But yeah, there you go. They're taking the W for like Tony Khan and Okada. I just know that's what Wavy Davy's trying to do. Dave Feltzer's trying to do. So on The Observer, Megan Bain, their buddy, according to The Observer, they say that Megan Bain is doing an ambitious schedule, becoming the first wrestler in history, Brian, to be in major tournaments at the same time in US and Japan. Bro, the AEW tag tournament is not a major fucking tournament. What makes it major? Come on, homie, we major. What makes it major? Because it's on AEW? Like, this is what I mean. What makes AEW major in any way, shape, or form? Would he consider TNA a major tournament back when they were doing fucking round robin tournaments and shit? I wonder if he used to. If someone pulls that up and says, yes, Dave used to do that, Phil, I'll go, okay, I'll shut the fuck up. But at the end of the day, it's like major tournament, bro. So, and this is just comes down to booking, I guess. But Dave goes, nobody, not the Funks, Stan Hansen, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, or even Hichisera achieved this feat. Megan worked the weekend in Japan, went back to the U.S. for Blood and Guts, then flew back to continue for Stardom. Oh, so he's talking about the Stardom tournament or what? Will return to U.S. for Full Gear weekend, return to Japan to finish the Goddesses Tag League tournament, and then come back to U.S. again for AEW in December, Brian. So he's talking about like a Stardom tournament and the fucking AEW major tournaments. To who? To who, Dave? Fuck you talking about? 2 major tournaments. Wowza. Good for her, I guess, but like even that schedule, Ric Flair would laugh at that. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Oh, she's competing in 2 tournaments, major ones. Okay. So 2 indies could just say they're doing tournaments, and then 3 indies should team up, all book tournaments at the same time, and then book the same person, and then make fun of Dave for this and say that they're not even Hulk Hogan competed in 3 tournaments at once, Dave. But this schedule here, that's awesome. She's going back and forth, Japan, fucking America. That's awesome. Good for Megan Bain. She rules. What I'm saying, though, is that other people, Hulk Hogan worked 400 days in 1 year, dude. Well, let me tell you something, brother. He worked 452 days 1 year. 100 extra days, man. And then, you know, a few days off, one every quarter, right? You get you got to have one, brother. It's like, no. No one. These aren't major tournaments. It like offends me. He's fucking saying this. Do people in wrestling consider these major fucking tournaments? I don't know. Maybe I'm harping on that too much, but to compare it to like Hogan and Andre and shit, what the fuck? Stan Hansen, Hogan, Flair, some of these guys, man, were on the road doing crazy miles, which like that's the impressive thing. What's impressive about there being 2 tournaments at once? I really don't get it, other than like, well, look at the miles she's putting in. Japan, America, Japan, America. That's what he's really trying to put over. And then he compares her to Hulk Hogan somehow. I really don't get it. So speaking of numbers, we talked about numbers and all of that stuff quickly, and then we're going to get into blood and guts stuff and then some cringe tone. But we talked about numbers, right? And AEW Grand Slam Australia, last time they were there, what did they do? Wasn't it like 20,000 people or whatever? What did how many tickets did AEW Grand Slam Australia sell? In 2024, let's see. I don't know. A number's not around 12,000. No, that's this year. I'm not sure. Listen, there's way less interest. I believe they did like 10,000, like over 10,000, or maybe even more. I wanted to say 20,000. That doesn't seem right. But listen, man, they've distributed about 5,000 ticks. They're set up for 7,700. I don't know, dude. Are they going to get a janky ring again? Or were you guys able to fucking build one that's 18 by 18? Like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, and just the Australia fan base is falling off. So tickets, though, for Full Gear, shout them out for this one. 8,158 sold. About 9,000 they're set up for. This is on November 22nd, Full Gear. Good for them. Like, actually a decent house in New Jersey there. But I mean, again, SmackDown and Raw sell more tickets, and we're not doing that. We're comparing it to TNA. So destroying TNA's last pay-per-view sales for tickets. Okay, so there you go. And good for them. That's actually a house. But how sad is it that we look at 8,000, which AEW used to do for Dynamite, and then we go, oh, a house. Good house for your pay-per-view. It's fucking sad, man. But a W for AEW there. The W is for win. AEW Dynamite scored its best numbers for blood and guts. Let's get into some blood and guts reactions here and whatnot. AEW scored its best numbers, or not even reactions, just updates, or with Ric Flair is what it is. I don't know why I keep saying reactions. I guess reactions to the fucking bounce back in the ratings, but the bounce back is weak too. Raj Giri says AEW Dynamite scored its best numbers in months for Wednesday's Blood and Guts episode. Dynamite averaged 600K viewers, up 21%. 21. With a 0.15 in the key demo, up 67%. Now, Sicko, Dumbfuck, Redax are taking victory laps with this shit.
No pop.
They used to do this all the time, guys. 0.15 used to be their normal number. Now they have to do a specialty cage match, and then the key demo spikes up because it's a gimmicked cage match. Just like when TNA does an Ultimate X, their fucking shit pops up a little bit. Just like every wrestling company. You cannot be happy about a 600K right now. You can't be. Why? Because 2 years ago, this was tragic. This was fucking shot through the heart. And you're to blame, right? Like this was a fucking dagger. This was a kill shot, death blow. Next week, they're going to be below 500K again. They had to break out 2 rings and 2 cages and say Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat are going to be on this fucking show in order to draw this, dude. These aren't good numbers. And it's just like a little spike. Like, this will go away immediately. And I'm not trying to be doom and gloom or downplay what they did. But we see this with Tone all the time. He gets one thing. None of the storylines were good going into this. Nothing matters coming out of this. People, they're pretending like it wasn't because there was 2 rings. If WWE tomorrow announced next Raw, 3 rings, World War III returns from WC or whatever the fuck, 3 rings and a cage, they'd get a bunch of fucking people tune into that who maybe have fallen off or would watch it on replay or whatever the fuck. You guys know this, right? Like, we all knew, just like when Halloween, okay, it's expected, the World Series, all these shows are going to do bad ratings. We all knew this, right? All of a sudden now they do 2 rings and a giant cage and people are pretending like they weren't going to do a rating, obviously. And this isn't even a rating. This is 600K. It's fucking terrible. Next week, they'll be right back to below 600K. The week after, they'll be in the 400s again. They won't. It would be awesome if Tony Khan capitalized on this shit. But the reason that key demo went up so high is because that's the wrestling fans who all are watching WWE now. They all went back to WWE again and stopped watching AEW. And they tuned in because it's War Games. Even PWT, even Phil S. Marks, dude. I've been so like, fuck AEW. And every Wednesday, what have we been doing, chat? I'm just like laughing and snickering at some shit I see on the TV while I'm fucking doing news and segments and bad impressions. Okay? That's what the fuck I do while Dynamite's on now. I'm just way more locked into my show. Like before we were watching, but even last Wednesday, I was like, whoa, we're watching Blood and Guts. Like I fucking watched that shit and gave my thoughts on it and shit. It's like a specialty event, dude. So I don't know why people are taking victory laps and shit. It's like, guys, this doesn't mean that WBD isn't about to sell to one of these companies that's in business with WWE. You guys understand that, right? You guys understand this won't save them, right? And this will not last, right? Unless Tony really figures it out. Okay, how do you keep these people? That should be his goal this next show. Team meeting. How do we keep all those fucking extra people who came back and watched our shit? Here's the thing, too. So many people stopped watching AEW already. This is just like some of the people who used to watch them last year and don't anymore came back to check in on this. What numbers did Blood and Guts do before? Do we have to pull it up year by year? What Blood and Guts does every year, every time they do one? How many people from year 3? When was the first Blood and Guts? I want to say year 2 or 3. I think maybe 3 because COVID I know blocked the first one. Or no, because they ended up doing it. It just the crowd wasn't there for it. I can't remember. Year 2 or 3, whatever the fuck. How many people watched that one that didn't return? Like more people than 600K watched those other ones, right? So this is like some of the people that used to watch this show 2 years ago tuned into this one. Same thing happened. Like, you can't get cocky about this. Meltzer said what was pleading with Tony Khan this week. Dude, one fucking tweet. Put out one fucking tweet saying, guys, quit being fucking stupid. Like, quit doing this. We're chipping away. We're putting our best foot forward. Stop fucking sicko spurging out over this shit. It helps nothing. Clowning TNA is not going to work for you guys. It's only going to work for me, who says, well, it's AEW and TNA, because that's the perception we get. Okay? I don't know what else to tell people, man. I'm sorry to smash your dreams.
Your need to obliterate.
But like, you know, of course they were going to pop a number for this. And this isn't even like a number. We're talking about it like they garnered they beat SmackDown this week. This was some of the people who used to watch AEW came back. This is the best way I can word it, okay? Not even all of them, just like a few. Right? A couple 100,000, like 130,000. What was their number? Like 477,000 or whatever. So you got like 100,000 people tuned back into this bullshit who fell off, and that's out of the fucking 500,000 who just gave up on this show entirely. You guys get what I'm saying? So Dynamite averaged whatever the fuck, the audience, whatever the fuck. Year over year, Dynamite was down 10% in total viewers. The key demo was down 32%. So sickos, do you see that? Look at that. The key demo was up 67%. Just do the math on this. I'm no mathematician here, but it was up 67%, right? From the week before, but from the year before, it was down 32%, bro. That means 60% of the time it works every time. That's like a huge number of people. That's just like I said. Some of the people watch this who used to, not even all of them. The shit was up. This is how bad your show is doing right now, okay? 67% was the increase from the week before, but it's down 32% from the year before. Whoa. That's crazy bad. Last week was crazy bad, huh? Last week was fucking dog shit, wasn't it? Like, holy shit, man. It's a lot of people not watching the show anymore. Anyways, I can't stress this enough. Everybody has these fucking ass takes on this shit, and no one points out the obvious thing, which is what I just said. Anyways, year over year, Dynamite was down 10%, and then only down 10% the show overall. But do you guys see what's happening? The key demo's like, fuck, this shit is trash. Oh, Blood and Guts? Yeah, we'll watch this. I mean, it's enough of a gimmick, right? That's all it is. They like gimmicks and stories, guys. So moving along. Speaking of gimmicks, the Ultimate Worker, or speaking of Blood and Guts and gimmicks. So AEW Dynamite crowd, we talked about this on the night of, but I just wanted to talk about this a little more just quickly. AEW Dynamite crowd gets a graphic warning ahead of the Blood and Guts event. We read this. So it says, if you have a seat on the floor, you are at risk of being struck by persons, objects, barricades, and other items. Pardon me. Please be aware of the action as you are watching and move out of the way. Move, bitch. Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way. If someone or something is coming your way by staying in this area, you assume all risks of injury to yourself and to your property. And I'm sitting here in my mind, I'm like, even children, they don't have agency, right? The comeback to that argument would be, well, Phil, it would be, oh, come on now, Phil, that's not very fair. You know, parents give consent, which is true, but like, that's a wild graphic to put on your screen and absolve yourself of all responsibility. But meanwhile, Tony Khan gets a fucking table bumped in front of him, and his coffee doesn't even spill, and the monitor wobbled a little bit. And fucking he went on television and said, I feared for my life at a wrestling show. Really think about this, guys. 2 men got in a shove match. One of them barely a boy, literally called boy on their show. Hardly a man. Got in a shoving match in front of Tone. They wobbled a table and the TV shook a little bit. Your old man shakes the TV worse when you were growing up and he's getting up out of his fucking chair in your living room, right, folks? You know what I'm saying? Like, you've seen way worse shit. Kids on the playground fight harder than Jack Perry and fucking CM Punk were scrapping. Okay? Tony Khan gets his desk wiggled a little bit. He goes on TV and says, I feared for my life at this wrestling show. And then has the audacity to put on events where he gives people caution. Things are going to be flying around. If you get hit with anything, you're at your own risk. It's your own risk. It's all on you. We assume no responsibility, and you shouldn't fear for your life. Sit front row where I feared for my life when a desk got wobbled. Sit front row here. It'll be so great for you to potentially lose an eyeball when a fucking screw or a glass shard comes flying at you and your family. This is family fun. Family entertainment. Bring the kids. Bring the babies. We got earmuffs. I feared for my life here once, though, when a desk got wobbled. But hey, watch out for yourself and your property. You assume all responsibility if you get impaled, if you get fucking hit with something, some debris flies in your face, you chip a tooth, hits your grandma in the fucking head. this is like the biggest clown show goofball fucking company ever. It makes me like, yeah, fuck it. You know, like it puts me on that side of the argument of like, yeah, fuck, let them go. Let this shit go off TV. Like, this is a joke. How the fuck do you say you were feared for your life and then show what went down on TV, thinking it was gonna make CM Punk look bad, makes you just look like a pussy boy. And then you these are the warnings you tell your audience. Oh, look out. Someone might wobble a desk in front of you. They need help, bro. I don't have words. It's like, I'm emotional right now, guys.
Emotional damage.
I'm upset, okay? I am upset.
Wrestling's not fake!
It's just so cringy, man. And like they act like people don't recall this, or like we're not going to clown on this, or we're not going to point out how like, how is this a caution you give people and you're on TV fearing for your life, and then you tell people this and you're willing to put on matches that this is even a caution that should be cautioned. You're a clown. I'm sorry, Tony Khan. I tried, Tone. I know we used to date, but it's through. I'm true with you. So speaking of blood and guts, Ric Flair, this according to Dave Meltzer. So this is probably the truth. You know, Tony called him right away. Can you believe it? Flair left. Yeah, it's okay. Just make something up in the sheets about this.
Just in, we have confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
So Ric Flair reportedly left Dynamite after speaking to the crowd. We saw like an image of it or whatever. And Dave says, Rick was there. He suffered a torn rotator cuff. I believe it was from a fall, but I'm not exactly sure how he got it. Then why do you believe it's from a fall, asshole? You're just adding that. I think it was from a fall, but I'm not exactly sure how he got it. But he just got it. I said it was likely from him doing the plank challenge or doing push-ups in a bar again in Jacksonville. Think about it. I'm not sure where Ric Flair lives, but they fly him there. Right? He goes to the bar. He's doing a plank challenge, blows his rotator. I bet it's just some shit like that. And he went to the show and he came out to talk to the fans. He took his arm out of his sling because I guess he didn't want them seeing his arm in a sling. He was booked to appear on the show, Brian. I don't know if he was going to be a part of the Steamboat angle, but it probably was the case. He just, he just felt that he couldn't do the angle. He was in a lot of pain, so he actually went home after he did his promo, which is before the show started. So he was there, but he was hurt. So what, are you defending Tony Khan because he didn't deliver on his fucking promise there, bud? Is that what's going on? So he did not appear on Dynamite. We saw that. Jamie Hayter, speaking of injuries, though, was reportedly may have chipped several teeth and is a little banged up following Blood and Guts. So chipped some teeth and fucking injured there. Okay, after Blood and Guts, speedy recovery to her. And we got a little Jim Cornette here. Jim Cornette had a take on Tony Khan and Blood and Guts. And what old Jimmy had to say. And let's hit a thank you, fuck you, bye. Where is it? God damn it. Here
Thank you, fuck you, bye. Boom.
Things are in different spots because I added some sounds. So David Van Dyke had this to say. Tony Khan should be ashamed of himself, regardless of what Dave Meltzer tells him when he calls or how wrong they both seem to think that Jim Cornette is. James E. would never allow this type of bullshit to take place ever. Seeing young athletic women bleeding too deep and pouring blood is not something the majority of sane people want to see. Now, some people say like, that's sexualist, to be like, I don't like to see women bleeding and shit like that. But so, I mean, it's just in men's nature to like want to protect women and shit. And some people are not into it. They're not into women's MMA. It's always going to be a bit of a stigma. People don't like to see women get beat up. For me, it's like, whatever. I've been, I don't care. I've always liked women's wrestling and shit when they can actually go like Trish and Lita main eventing Raw. I remember that shit. I remember where the fuck I was sitting watching it. They were always my two favorites because they could really go. I was always a fan of the girls who could really go. Victoria, right? So Not that I hate on the diva shit. I'm always saying, let's bring sexy back. Yeah. Pro wrestling don't know how to act. We need more sexy valets and shit. We need that too in pro wrestling in general. Just women who valet people. I miss even managers with tennis rackets and shit. Even that. I miss that too. Bobby the Brain, you know, we got Paul Heyman. That's it. But this guy's like, you can say it's for the sickos, but TBS and TNT drama need to step in for the mentally stable. Is this true? Is this what you stand for? He tags everyone you could tag. So this is just a snitch tag party here, whatever. But Jim Cornette goes, actually, I was more offended by the fact that the girls' match looks so fucking fake and stupid silly that the blood, but that's just nitpicking. Or then the blood. I'm dyslexic, but that's just nitpicking. Since the bottom line is this is garbage indie wrestling with a big budget because the kid billionaire has some cognitive shit going on. And yeah, that's all it is. Like AEW style is fucking Nuge meets garbage indie deathmatch shit. And it is what it is, man. But Jim Cornette had unkind words there. Most definitely. And this brings us to the subsection of the AEW news. And it's a subsection segment within a segment, Inception style. And it is called The Best Guys, Tony Khan.
Best guys, Tony Khan.
So Tony Khan, dude, Tone, he hopped on a live stream, and we're going to EFAP a couple of these live streams, or one of them here. I think we got 2 of them. And he revealed that he talked to Billy Corgan. Now, I just wanted to talk about this separately and give my thoughts on it. But TK says he has a lot of respect for Corgan. An NWA national title has its rich history. But AEW will have their own lineage starting with Full Gear. Well, no shit, it's your own lineage, stupid. So I want to read some of this. I believe it's in the video we have here. Okay, but basically, I just want to isolate this part. And he just says, I have a lot of respect for him. To any wrestler anywhere in the world, particularly in the NWA, you might be happy to hear Billy and I had a nice talk about this. I'm sure he would say the same. What? I'll threaten you with legal action. Remember when I poached all your talent? And then I just cast you aside and said, fuck NWA, and me and Dave Meltzer make fun of you guys now. Remember that? It's like, fuck you, man. Billy Corgan thinks you're a joke too. You guys had a good talk as a He's not going to burn bridges. The wrestlers definitely got upset. Corgan might tell them to chill out. But like Tony, I'm surprised Tony even picked up the phone and called Billy Corgan or whatever. Because apparently Tony's notorious for just ghosting. Like, he will not confront people. That's why that Mega, or whatever her name was, got so much heat, because she was in the middle of so much bullshit. And I've heard rumors that she actually is does not like AEW and Tony Khan after her time in AEW. I've heard rumors of that. This is South Park. That could all be fake. But listen, all I'm saying is that I've heard that she actually... her and Shad are like, this AEW's just keep the fucking kid busy and out of our real business and stuff. And she's sort of on that boat after her time in AEW because she got so much heat. There's other rumors about her that I'll leave Jim Cornette and Brian last. They can speculate on that, right? Because I don't fucking know anything about it. But yeah. So I'm not going to read this whole quote. We're going to hear him talk about it. But just when it comes to this NWA shit, and Tony down here said, it's going to have its own lineage. Here's the thing, dude. Then why the fuck did you have Tony Schiavone talking about the NWA's title lineage history and when he came on your video and he's like, when I was in Georgia, because you're fucking lying. And you knew you were going to get goddamn sued over this shit.
Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
And Tone knew that there was some heat with the Shockwave stuff because he already almost got sued or is being sued, according to Brian Idol. Now that is he really being sued? We don't fucking know. According to Brian Idol, NWA suing AEW over the Shockwave thing already. Now, I'm no lawyer and shit. I have no clue. I don't want to speculate on law shit. But if that's the case, then Tony this would have been brought in on that. They would have been like, look, they're ripping us off again. And they would have And here's the thing. It might result in that when it comes to the Shockwave thing. Look, dude, they're ripping us off again. So this is not going to fare well for Tony. He doesn't even think about shit like this. Nobody's in his corner pointing out why this shit is bad ideas. Nobody's telling him. Nobody's smart enough to look over. No, he has no lawyer friends who are telling him, yeah, that Andrade guy, let me look over his deal quick, bud, because are you sure you're ready to sign him again? Let me look over his old are we able to get his old contract before we just do that? Would he be willing to let us, would his agent maybe be willing to go through some of the like they don't do that. And there's nobody, he doesn't have a lawyer friend telling him, yeah, maybe don't do the national title again when you're going to get sued over the Shockwave shit. So Tony, that's why he desperately, I'm losing faith of the internet. I'm losing face. I need to better call Billy and assure everyone everything's okay. Meanwhile, he just gave Corgan some money and was like, we're good now, right? No, I'm joking. It's not that, but it's just that like him coping over the national title and then saying like, oh yeah, dude, it's its own lineage. Then why did you have Shivani come out and talk about the lineage of the other belt? It's always reactionary. That's why we know you're lying. That's why we know in AEW, it's always reactionary to other shit. Tegan Knox walks out. Look at the reactions that come out. This guy says, yeah, I said fuck you to Tony Khan. People come out and start burying him out of the wood. Everyone's reactionary. And then you call them out for the reaction. And then they go, oh, no, I was just putting out a message of positive. I was just speaking in general. No, you weren't. Because it's always people reacting to shit. I highly doubt. Tony Khan would have went on his video and said, we know. This is what he would have said in that video. The lineage of that NWA title, I mean, it's still going tried and true today. And you know what? Our lineage will be our own lineage that we're creating, which goes without saying. But now he's got to backtrack and say this shit. He just should have left out the old history of the NWA national title. You should have never you should have never had a national title. That shouldn't even be a thing in AEW to begin with, let alone having to now retcon your idea for it. Oh yeah, no, it's going to be our own lineage. It had nothing to do with NWA, I assure you. Bull fucking shit, dude. I don't believe that for one fucking second. Okay, so we have 2 Tony Khan cringe videos. I want to, before I get into them, that I guess was AEW news for, well, we got cringe here. We already played the Best Guys Tony Khan drop. I just wanted to check into chat here. I see we have a big super chat. I want to see what chat's saying. I also want to hydrate. Again, hydration station. Everyone take a sip of what you're sipping on. Sipping on private stock. Way back when I had the red and black lumberjack. Okay, so Ray J's World 6852 with $10 of a super chat.
Acknowledge me.
Tony Khan feared for his life because the Young Bucks are manipulative douchebags. Exactly. It was lawyers. Speaking of lawyers, they told him to think and feel that way. You know what I'm saying, Ray J? And it is your world, okay? And if WBD drops AEW, they will go they will go to Amazon. But then you're just streaming. Do they go to Amazon? See, that's a good call. That's a good call. I really like that, Ray J, that you say that. Ain't nobody going to watch it on Amazon, though. Then what are their numbers? That's just streaming then. Right? And then they can just hide all the numbers. And then Dave will go, well, an automatic 30% increase, right? You're probably correct. They will just go to Amazon. Maybe Tony Khan that's why he trademarked like Fire and Firestorm and all that shit, because he's going to go to Amazon and then say, oh, we got a fucking new show exclusively on your Fire Stick. Watch AEW Firestorm. Maybe that's what he's going for, and he trademarked some names because he's going to roll out a new show if he gets kicked off or whatever the fuck. That could totally be it, man. That was a great super chat. Thank you. TK will pay Amazon. Yeah, he'll pay whoever the fuck he He'll pay wherever the fuck he goes, dude. They ain't gonna pay him for that shit. Ain't no way. You can't prove it's not beating Raw in the rating, Brian. Itchy Sandy Vagina, possibly Paramount will get WBD. They tried a lame gotcha moment and it blew up in their face. Exactly. Okay. So let's get into some Tony Khan cringe. Now, I double bookmarked this moment in case Tony Khan deleted this, okay? But he didn't. He kept it up. So this is just at the end of the video. I will remove that from the bookmarks. But Steamboat Tone on his fucking super yacht. And yes, this is literally the picture of the $350 million plus super yacht that Steamboat Tone was on when he cut this fabulous promo from what looks like the lobby of a casino on board. No, I don't know where, but for real, like, where are you? You know, you're in a skyscraper on this giant fucking boat. This super yacht. So it's Shad Khan's. This is it. This is actually the boat he was sitting in. This is Shad Khan's $400 bagillion million super. It's like $350 million super yacht. Okay. And then over here at the front is where Dave Meltzer hugs Tone tightly and holds him in the air. And Celine Dion goes, and I will always love you. And then they sing like romantical songs and you hear the Titanic theme and all of these things right up at the front there. You guys see that front part? That's where Daddy Dave hangs on tight to Tone and tells him everything's going to be all right as they head directly into a fucking iceberg. And this music plays, this flute in particular, wherever you are. Right? So that's what happens at the front. I don't know, party in the back, as they say. And during this party in the back, super yacht Tone here, Steamboat Tone, gave us this cringy fucking filmed on a potato. They saran wrapped the camera on his fucking phone before he filmed this. Again, it's like they're playing AEW in the background, I believe. Like, so that's like the reflection of what's on his TV in this super yacht. He's on it alone. There's no friends, no hoes. You got boats, but no hoes.
Sometimes
dude?
in life, you got to be a hoe.
What the fuck is going on, man? Right? Boat. He's got a boat, no hose. A super yacht, no super hose. No super heads on this super boat. And he's just all alone sitting here like, isn't this great? I'm having my own private AEW watch party on this boat my dad bought, and it's just empty. Just the crew and Tone. Okay? We're at sea. And so here's what a Steamboat Tony had to say. And he talks about the NWA stuff. I'll roast it some more, reiterate a bit of what I said prior, but here we go. Here's 12 minutes. Strap in. 11:49 of Steamboat Tony here with an epic botch at the end.
Hi. It's great to be with you here live.
This is like one of those Ty Lopez videos. Hi, I'm Ty Lopez, and I'm Tony Khan, and let me tell you, one time, hi, I'm Tony Khan, and let me tell you, I came from sleeping on the floor, and when I got into investing in these courses with these 5 easy steps, you get a super yacht. I actually have a garage with 4 more super yachts, and right, one of those YouTube ads
from the Motor Yacht Kismet.
The Motor Yacht Kismet, dude.
This is one of the most beautiful places I could imagine. And we're celebrating a lot. It's a big Friday night because we just had a great AEW Blood and Guts. Thank you all, whether you were there live in Greensboro or joined us on TBS or HBO Max. We just had a great audience and a great show. I'm so excited about it.
The show went down and now I'm on a yacht, bitches. And I'm rewatching it. Actually, this is just a YouTube trailer we pulled up in the background.
And this is going to be a big weekend. we're coming up on AEW Collision tomorrow night, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it and talk about what I think is going to be a great weekend and then a great week ahead going into AEW Full Gear. So as I get ready to depart Kismet and head to Erie, Pennsylvania for tomorrow's Collision, I just thought it'd be great to talk a bit about the show. Of course, Mark Briscoe and the conglomeration and Darby Allin were victorious in the Blood and Guts match this past week.
It's
on
more
Dynamite.
interesting than
I thought
hearing
it
him
was a
talk about
fantastic,
random
fantastic
fucking
match.
matches, dude. You just
And
play the
now
music.
Mark
It's way
Briscoe
better.
can focus on Full
Oh,
Gear
yeah.
next weekend, and he can focus on the TNT Championship match with no disqualification.
Percy Jackson, Edge is in that show, so I'll allow it in my video.
But we do know that if Mark Briscoe does not win the TNT title, if Kyle Fletcher wins this match, Mark Briscoe will have to join the Don Callis family. And Mark Briscoe will be taking on one of the most dangerous men in the Don Callis family, Mark Davis, tomorrow on...
One of the most dangerous men, the lowest tier guy in the group, Mark Davis. So if Mark Briscoe doesn't beat Mark Davis, then... or if he doesn't win the TNT title from Kyle Fletcher, then if he doesn't beat Fletcher, then he's in the Callis family. What a shitty, repetitive, already been done thing that Tone's already done in AEW, where if you lose, you're in our group. But not only that, just a shitty fucking bad beat to this story, because nobody cares if Mark Briscoe's in the group and no one wants him to be in it, and he's not going to beat Fletcher already. And maybe he does beat Fletcher, so Fletcher moves on, but then that's what you chose to have beat Fletcher instead of like building someone up really fucking good in order to beat him.
Collision. We announced that at the end of Dynamite. There's a lot of people excited about it, and I know Mark Briscoe and Mark Davis are really looking forward to this one. But ahead of the TNT Championship
are they, Tone?
match, you might remember last Saturday, the TNT champion, Kyle Fletcher, busted in on my live stream. It was not quite as scenic of a place as here on the Kismet. It was not the same location, but it was a great
The
location.
Kismet.
It was a great
Yar,
location.
she blows.
And I thought it was a
Yar,
tremendous
the
show.
Kismet,
Again, had
she
great
blows.
viewership, and it was a
So
great
he set
episode.
sail for the
Kyle
seven
Fletcher went
seas.
out there and had a tremendous match with Ace Austin. He didn't have to go out there and defend the title because we know he's set for a defense against Mark Briscoe.
Captain Jack Sparrow's less of a goofball than this Jacob. Am I right? Oh.
Kyle Fletcher has told me he wants to defend the championship. Kyle Fletcher wants to get out there and have another title fight, even if it means that there's not going to be a Briscoe versus Fletcher match at Full Gear. Well, I've looked at the top contenders, and somebody who I think would be a great challenger tomorrow night for a TNT title fight is a former TNT champion.
And do you guys notice how the week before Tone took our advice? And he's not wearing his glasses. I wonder if that's because Husey called him out for not needing them. No, he's wearing those fake ones there. But do you notice how he tried one where he's like straight and to the point and exciting? But instead, he's like, I want to show off these throw pillows. We got some really nice pillows here made of cashmere. And I actually want to show these off. And I want to show that AEW's on in the background of this boat because this is the coolest. This is a party boat. Fuck the Jericho Cruise. We're actually hijacking that idea.
Somebody who is unbeaten since he returned to AEW this year, somebody who's been chomping at the bit for a challenge like this, and I'm talking about a former two-time TNT champion, Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky has been doing great things
glad
with
Scorpio's
Skyflight,
booked again.
mentoring Dante and Darius Top Flight and Layla Gray. We saw them pick up a very impressive win.
Who's
this past
mentoring
week
them
on
now?
ROH. I've seen great things out of Skyflight. Scorpio Sky, a former TNT champion.
Skyflight.
And I
So
think
Scorpio Sky is now with Top Flight, and they are now, and then so holy fucking shit, man. So Top Flight was those brothers Dante and Darius Martin, and then they added Layla Gray, and then they added Leo Rush and Action Andretti, and then they broke off and became Crew, and now Action Andretti and Leo Rush are on fucking milk cartons. They've been missing. And then you have Scorpio Sky is now mentoring Top Flight, and now they're called Skyflight. You could not be more of a fucking mark if you tried to be one. This is nuts, man.
Would be a great challenger and will be.
You could not be a worse
for the
booker,
TNT
dude.
title tomorrow night on Collision. We've got so many great things to look forward to on this show, and there's a lot of excitement around AEW right now. A lot of excitement around these championships. I talked about the TNT championship on the line tomorrow night and at Full Gear. It could potentially be a very, very different matchup, though, if Scorpio Sky is victorious and wins the TNT championship tomorrow night. He could potentially change the landscape of Full Gear completely by becoming a 3-time TNT champion tomorrow on Collision.
So wait, so wait till because no one's picking up on this. Wait till I explain this to you guys. Hold on. Wait till I explain how bad this is. So Tony Khan just explained how Mark Briscoe has to fight. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get this right. Okay, trust me. Just let me line. This is how bad and confusing and stupid this fucking shit is. So he just explained that Mark Briscoe is fighting Mark Davis of the Callis family. And then, win or lose that match, he gets a shot at Kyle Fletcher of the Callis family. And if he loses that match, then he has to join the Callis family. But then Scorpio Sky, who's been mentoring Top Flight, and now they're called Skyflight, is fighting Fletcher for the TNT title, and then Sky might win the TNT title. But then what happens but I thought you said Mark Briscoe has to fight him for the title, and if he loses, he's in the Callis family. But what if Fletcher doesn't have the title and Scorpio Sky beats him for it tonight on Collision or whatever the fuck? Because you're a stupid idiot. Lex, what does any of this mean? I don't know! Me neither, dude. This shit is retarded. It's just that simple. It makes no fucking sense. You're spoiling the ending of Sky and Fletcher. Not that people don't already know the ending. Did I explain that correctly, Chad? I'm like 99.9930%, Brian, sure, that I fucking explained that correctly. So Sky lost tonight, okay? Whoop-de-doo. This was before that. So Sky lost. Okay, but what if he won? That has to be this is why WWE's crushing it. Because all the big matches, you're like, if this guy wins this, and that, I think this guy should win because that, and that. If this guy wins, then that means this, and this, and that. In AEW, there's none of that. No one cares. No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck. No one cares if Fletcher has that belt or not. No one cares if Mark Briscoe joins the Callis family or not. Because this is a fucking... Why do I care about that? Why do I care that they're fighting? Oh, well, because he has to join their group. He doesn't want to. Okay, he's just not going to want to be in that group, in the group. What more? There has to be more than that. Does it go against his moral fiber? What about that group is it? Oh, well, they've been beating him up and costing him matches. Okay, I get that. That's like very surface level shit. That kind, all right, I guess. But like, why did they run in though? Is there like there's always got to be meaning to everything. None of this means shit, and he's explaining why it doesn't mean shit because Scorpio Sky might beat this guy for the belt. But if this guy still has the belt, then Mark Briscoe has to fight him. And if he does, then this, and he's just telling you like surface, it's just like shit happening. Just this happens, spoiling the show. Like we already know that Scorpio's going to lose because you just told me before this that Mark Briscoe has to fight this guy for being in the fucking family or whatever. Someone has to explain this to Tone. Just fucking promo the matches. Boom, boom, boom. Get off. Look at my sweet fucking boat, dude. I'm rich. Suck my dick. Boom, boom, boom. Get off really quick. That's how you do this. Otherwise, you're just convoluting it. You're like, I wouldn't be shocked if there's AEW fans watching this going, what the fuck is this idiot saying this for right now? Anyways, let's go.
Speaking of championships, we're in the middle of the women's tag team championship tournament. We've had some great matches, and last week we had a tremendous AEW blood and guts. The men in Blood and Guts were awesome, and the women in Blood and Guts were awesome. And that was one of the hardest hitting nights of professional wrestling that I've ever seen. And I'm really proud of everybody in AEW who made it possible. Now, with this tag team championship tournament going on, now we're back to some straight wrestling. And one thing I thought was really impressive last week on Collision was the performance of Maya World and High-End, who stepped in, and while they didn't pick up the win, they were tremendous fighting against an established tag team, a top established tag team, Ty Conti and Anna Jay. Well,
an established tag team, a top established tag team. Bro.
I and Anna picked up a great win.
They've been both off TV for how fucking long, man? I don't care if a year and a half ago they tagged a couple times and then they both got hurt or whatever. One had a kid and one got injured. Like, bro, nothing is ever established. They just tell you. It's what did I say a lot? I was like, don't tell me how big your dick is, just show me. You know, it's like, fucking show us, man. Have the show explain this shit to us. It's called a show. Show me. I'm from the show me state. Who's from the show me state?
But I was really impressed by High-End and Maya World. So I'm going to give them another opportunity.
So look, the girls, I believe these are the girls who stepped in. High-End and Maya's World stepped in for the Nixon Newell Miranda Alizé departure in the 3-minute match. And he's like, I've been so impressed with them, I'm going to give them another shot. So now they're his new favorite glorified jobber team because they stepped in for a team that he was going to make his jobber team. Right? And good for those girls. They'd probably kill for that TV time. I'm not knocking them at all. Those High-End and Maya's World. Who? Like, and not even dissing, just like Maya's World I've heard of because she's made some noise on the indies for sure. High-End, not so much. So it's like, but good for them, right? So they're obviously ID level folks, right? Good for them. Not shitting on them at all. Take those opportunities. But all Tony's doing is making them the jobbers of these girls that he was turning into glorified jobbers. You know what I'm saying? It's like Queen Aminata. Love Queen Aminata. Tony books her like shit, dude. So this is just more of that. And these girls, hopefully, they're young enough to where they can hopefully make some noise in ROH. But now we're going to see their name more. They're Tony's new. You sided with me. You stepped up and now you're mine. Until in 3 months, his attention goes somewhere else. Ooh, shiny. And then he just starts fucking like, where's the Outrunners been and shit? What happened to them? I thought he was pushing them. Anyone who gets over on their own accord, he doesn't fuck with them. So hopefully the IWC doesn't start blowing up Maya's World and High-End, or he's just going to stop booking them, dude. That's what will happen.
To take on one of the teams.
Well, hopefully they are hyping them up. Like, I'm not trying to shit on them at all, right? I hope their careers are long and prosperous, and I hope we see them in WWE one day. I'm not familiar with their work. I'm just saying that, like, when people start to hype up Athena, look at this shit Athena's doing, shooting on these girls, and Athena's doing work shoots, Tony just buries her. The Outrunners, they're over. Oh, we'll stick them with FTR, and then they're just gone. Because why? Because they're getting over on their own. He does not like that. You have to make him think it's his idea, and that's what they do. You guys notice that's what they do with the Tony Storm stuff? Oh, it's Tony Storm, it's RJ City, and it's Tony Khan too. We swears it's Tony Khan too. Why did they do that, guys? And again, sorry to blow up your spot, but RJ City and Tony Storm, no. We make it, John Moxley knows this too. We make him think it's his idea. You get away with anything. You fucking get over on your own and you're doing your own thing. Look at like a Ricky Starks. And then you just get fucked with, you know?
During this tag team tournament. And that is Alex Windsor and Riho. Riho making her return to AEW, and ahead of the tag team tournament, she's going to team up with Alex Windsor. We know those two are going to be fighting Timeless Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa in the first round. And we're not sure what kind of condition Tony Storm and especially Mina Shirakawa are going to be in after that Blood and Guts. But we will have Windsor and Riho taking on High-End and Maya World on Collision tomorrow night. It's going to be an awesome episode. Speaking of which, Timeless Toni Storm will be there. And I think she's going to have a lot to say.
And like, where the fuck did Alex Windsor go? Has she been on Collision routinely? Because all of a sudden she was just in ROH as well. And why are you hiding Rio? Put her on fucking Dynamite, man. I don't know. I like Rio. I know some people shit on her. I do like Rio. But if she's as over as everyone claims, right? Everybody, oh, Rio is the fucking okay. What happened to Hikaru Shida, dude? Shia was fucking awesome. What the fuck happened to Shia? Or Shida, pardon me. Shia LaBeouf? No, Shida, rather. What happened to her? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's unfortunate. Some of these girls, too, they kind of start getting over. He just, boof, they're gone.
So Timeless Toni Storm's going to be at Collision. We're going to be looking at some of the top teams in this tag team tournament, and I'm really excited about that. And speaking of the top championships in wrestling,
he sounds so bored. This show sounds boring.
Championship in AEW, the national championship. And next week on Dynamite, we'll have a huge Wednesday night. It's the go home show in Boston. And we'll take a look at this Casino Gauntlet match tomorrow. Take a look at some participants in the match, but also we'll have some matches next week to determine who has the number 1 and number 2 slots in that.
So bad. So the story should be you don't want the number 1 or 2 slot. Because you know, or maybe not, I guess in case. So this is the problem. This match type is insulting to everyone's intelligence. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry, dude. Why would you have matches for participants when the first 2 people could pin each other? It's waste. You're literally saying that a bunch of these matches don't matter because we know 15 people are going to show up in the match anyways. We know everyone that you had planned to be in the match will come out before the finish happens. Tony will never do this Casino Gauntlet and have 4 people come out and then the match ends, or the first 2 people pin each other. He'll never do it that way because the fans will boo. They'll turn on him. They'll be like, you robbed us of this thing. So why not just fix the stipulation that the match does not start until you fuck every competitor's in the ring? This would clear this criticism away. And people live in denial. They try to deny that this is a valid criticism. They pretend like they don't realize this part of the match. The wrestlers should be, who get picked to get the number 1 or 2, should be going, why the fuck am I in this match? I don't want to be number 1 or 2. But instead, they're going to make the wrestlers on their show look fucking stupid by having them go, yeah, I want that number 1, and I'm going to beat you for the number 1. Even though the wrestlers aren't dumb enough, like they should surely know what the fans see. Well, 15 guys are going to come in this thing. I want number 50. Give me number 7. You know, right? I bet you 7 guys will come in, and that'll be about halfway point. You know what I mean? And then maybe the match could get closed out. But he doesn't do that. And they sit there pretending that the match could end any time. No, we know that at least 10 guys are coming out first. And then it could end any time. Okay, but we're watching 10 guys do all this shit. Just fix that fucking rule. And it just buries the wrestlers in the roster. Because surely they're not dumb enough to want to get the number 1 or 2 slot. Because they know that every match in AEW goes 10 to 25 fucking minutes. And it's only like 2 minutes until opponent number 3 comes out. I would want to be like entry number 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least have people go, what the fuck? No, I want like number 5, dude. No one will do that. And it makes them all look fucking stupid. In kayfabe or not in kayfabe. It's a fucking dumb rule. Now, are those matches fun? Yeah. Is this a gimmick match that Tony's kind of made his own thing? Yeah, for sure. And it's actually something that people hear, oh, a Casino Gauntlet, those are fun. Does he go to it way too much? Yep. Is that fucking rule stupid and it needs to be addressed before I'll ever give this match a pass? Yup.
Gauntlet to become the first ever AEW national champion at Full Gear in the Casino Gauntlet match. And there's been a lot of...
It should be elimination. I agree with chat. Elimination or fucking once everyone's in, then pinfall. Falls count, or they should just do falls count anywhere elimination, because people start brawling all over the arena. They're jumping through tables. And then the finish is always like, here's 10 spots. And then the finish is always the same. 2 guys get isolated because everyone starts brawling everywhere. And then someone gets the pin. Okay. If it's elimination style, you can have people die, like make those spots mean something. Like you're already destroying someone by throwing them off the stage. We know we're going to see some crazy spot through a table off the balcony or whatever that takes out 7 guys. Someone does a moonsault, it takes them all out, and then the pin, and then they go to the finish in the ring. And then there'll be 4 false finishes before anything. Like we already know that's going to happen. If it's elimination, then that way, like, okay, you put them through 3 tables off the balcony, you can fucking pin them after that or whatever. And then at least make it that way. At least make it stakes. Like you have to fight to get in this thing. At least give stakes, At least make it high stakes. You fight to get in this thing, and then if you survive it, then whatever the fuck, But they need to address that rule. That rule's stupid. And it's especially stupid when like Ricochet debuts at number 10 in that match. Do you remember that? They had the Casino Gauntlet. He debuted at like number 6. It's like, what if the first 2 guys pinned each other? Then Ricochet wouldn't have debuted? Like as a fan or as somebody who, oh man, he might have not even come out tonight if they didn't last this long. Golly gee. Like as a fan, even if you're trying to kayfabe it, you have to sit there and like pretend that makes sense, that Nigel McGuinness comes back, or like some guy from New Japan. They got Satoshi Kojima, and he's he's back there, comes out number 12. And what if it didn't get to 12? He would have just packed his shit and went home. Like, we're supposed to believe that in kayfabe too? It just doesn't even make sense. Sorry, harping on it way too hard, but I hate that because everyone glazes that match, but that's such a gaping hole. That's such a big, giant, gaping fucking hole, dude.
In the national title match. And there's been talk from people in and outside of AEW. It's been really interesting. And, of course, the national championship will be decided at AEW Full Gear. But when I recently announced it, I saw a lot of talk online. And there was chatter from even wrestlers from other promotions, people all over. And wrestlers are going to talk. Wrestlers are going to say stuff. That's totally cool. But I ended up having a really nice conversation about it with.
Listen to the Cope. Oh my God. Oh my God. Tony's felt it, man. Listen to the Cope. He's like, wrestlers are going to talk. That's totally fine if wrestlers talk. No, it's not, dude. Don't pretend now. That's totally fine. But he reprimanded that fucking commentator in New Japan. He's trying to reprimand AEW, NWA talent. If you're an NWA, Tony Khan's trying to reprimand
the best guys, Tony Khan.
And he thinks he can tell Billy Corgan what to do, bro. You guys should not stand for this. I would get way more vocal. Because he gutted NWA too. He took other than Nick Aldis, he took everyone that was interesting from over there, didn't do shit with them or made them look like goofs. Okay? Thunder Rosa, Eddie Kingston. Who else did he grab from there? Camille. Think about just those stories. Eddie Kingston looks like the biggest goof ever. People have turned on him. He went from people praising him to turning on his ass so hard. Thunder Rosa, they completely fumbled, has been in shoot works multiple times in the ring, has shot on people and been shot on, it seemed like, got chased in a fucking bathroom, was super over for them, but is buried as fuck, gets hurt. All these rumors spread about her. Now she's healthy, doesn't know when she's coming back to work. Look at Camille. Gets hired, gets buried. They bring her on TV. They make her look like the biggest joke, laughing stock ever, booked her like a fucking clown. And that's not on her. That was her booking. Had Monet cringe and embarrass her up. Promoted the movie she starred in. Fucking back to the bookshelf, buddy. Back to the back the closet. You know what I'm saying? Back to the back of the closet. Back to the bottom of the toy box, Andy. Or Woody. I guess Andy doesn't go in the toy box. He would be placing Woody in the toy box. But you guys get what I'm saying, okay? I'm losing my goddamn mind with this shit. So he calls up Billy Corgan to put world famous Bill Burr's brother, Billy Corgan, in check. Man, fuck all that, Tone. If I was an NWA wrestler, I'd be super pissed that he thinks he can call up Billy and go, I know wrestlers are going to talk, but, and like reprimand you. Fuck all that, man. He ain't your boss.
The president of the NWA, Billy Corgan, because, of course, the NWA national.
And he goes, I talked to your boss. That's what he's saying here. I talked to your boss, so I'm the best guy. You all better remember that.
Championship has a great history of its own. And when we created a national champion, I saw NWA wrestlers saying, hey, we have a national title. Well, it's AEW is a separate company. We have our own lineage. And I'd like to just say that Billy, I have a lot of respect for him. I have a lot of respect for what he's doing. I really love the traditions of pro wrestling, and I had a really nice talk with Billy.
Then why do you slap them in the fucking face consistently more than any pro wrestling booker? I think maybe it's you and Dixie Carter. Even Dixie, though. Like, at least she had Russo and Bischoff and Cornette and Dirty Dutch and people like that around her fucking telling her what to do. And I get it. That's the old guard, too. Like, people are like, well, how would you save AEW? Hire Jim Cornette? It's like, no, not even that, honestly. Not even him, you know? It would just be vastly different than whatever the fuck Tone's doing.
And we hadn't talked in a long time, so I think it was good for him to hear this. I respect him and I respect the NWA, and we're trying to do something different here. We brought pro wrestling back to TBS, but there are a lot of promotions.
So what's different? We're trying to do something different. That's why we copy WWE's aesthetic with the white ropes. That's why we copy the logo for WCW and the aesthetic of that early on, of WCW early on, of not Dynamite, Nitro. That's why you copied the tunnels from TNA. That's why you copied the fucking some of the pay-per-view names. That's why you have copy match types. That's why you've copied promos. You copied the national title. That's why you called it the national title. That's why you brought Tony Schiavone on to talk about the history of the national title and the history of pro wrestling before you did your own national title. That's why you care about the hit and you're trying to do something unique and your own, even though it's everything is just bad Vince McMahon style booking, but with even less creativity. That's why you haven't made one star who wouldn't have been a star. MJF, if he had went to WWE and AEW never existed, he would have been a star. Hangman Page, if he had went to WWE instead, he would have been up there. Okay. All these guys, you haven't made one fucking star, and you haven't created any IP that's iconic. You don't even create gimmicks other than hologram and El Clone. Okay, that's just over with the super marks, dude. That's over with Dave Meltzer. Even I try to put hologram over. Nobody knows. No one could name one of his 15-0 wins or 20-0 wins. And then you're going to have this El Clone guy beat him. And he's just in the Callis family. And it's an evil version of hologram. Spent no Dynamite time establishing any of that. And that IP isn't over. You can say what you want, but hologram and El Clone aren't over. Where's your Undertaker? Even Luchasaurus was Luchasaurus before AEW, wasn't he? Where's your Kane? Come up with a character that gets so over, everyone's like, holy shit. Come up with something, dude. It's all just like ripping off the bad parts from every fucking company, from every other wrestling company. And down to the white ropes from WWE. Personally, I like when Raw has red ropes, SmackDown has blue ropes. I'm a mark like that. I like when TNA has a pay-per-view and the theme of the pay-per-view is purple, so they break out the purple ropes or whatever. I'm a mark for shit like that. Tony Khan, he has just the white ropes trying to trick you into thinking it's WWE when you're flipping channels. Like, what else is the purpose of doing that? And the way he uses the LED boards, even the aesthetic of the fucking show, everything's been unoriginal. Collision, the logo for Collision's a ripoff. You're not trying to do anything different, dude. And that's why you came up with the national fucking title. Tony, this is what happened. He was on YouTube watching old wrestling, and he's like, oh, that national title. I mean, we could do that. I swear to God, it's just some and then he just gets hung up on it. and he has no other idea how to get fucking ratings. He doesn't know what he's doing. He just buries the fact he introduced women's tag titles because he does not care about women's wrestling. And he doesn't care about that. I love the history. Yes, you like to reminisce. You're a fan, dude. You're a fucking fan with a lot of money. Just accept that. You're not in the you're not, hardly in the business, bro. For real. We all have to come together and agree. Come together right now on the Kismet. Right? We have to realize this shit. You bought your way in. You bought your way into the history books. That's okay. Lots of people do that shit. Look at Elon Musk, that crazy asshole. Okay? That guy's going nuts. Thinks he can buy the fucking world, bro. It's the same thing over here. Like you had Tony Schiavone explain the history, and we're doing some original. It's already been done, and it's the opposite of that. If he had just said, I'm introducing a national title, people would have been like, oh, that's fucked. Well, there's this national title, whatever. It's the fact he had Tony Schiavone come and explain the history and all this shit. He wouldn't have did that if that's not what he was thinking. The problem is that he was watching old wrestling on YouTube. He heard old Tony Schiavone, who used old school Tony Schiavone ruled, okay? And he heard old Tony Schiavone on commentary, and he went, oh, we're going to do a national title. I have Tony Schiavone. I have one of those. I have a first edition Tony Schiavone. So he just whips out a national title like it's 2K Universe DLC community creation mode. And he's downloading the community creations, right? And I don't know. I could just bury this all day. He's lying right here, though.
Had a great history on TBS before AEW.
And here's the other thing. Oh, the NWA had a great history on TBS. We're on TBS. You guys were on TBS. So it's like the same thing. Don't you guys get it? They were on TBS and we're on TBS. So it's like the same thing, but we're like totally doing something different. You're fucking lying through your cashmere suit. What is that shit made out of, dude? Silk spider webbing? What is that suit made out of, bro? You're fucking lying. Liar! You're lying.
WA. And I think it's great that Billy's trying to keep that tradition.
He's a dumbass. Someone reminded him of the Shockwave lawsuit, and he's like, oh, fuck.
Alive and revive it. So we had a really nice talk about this. So to any of the wrestlers anywhere in the world, and particularly some of you in the NWA, you might be happy to hear Billy and I had a very nice talk about this, and I'm sure he would say the same. And speaking of...
I bet he got off the phone, laughed at you, called you an asshole to Natalia Markova, and no, I'm joking.
Pro wrestling and getting back to the topic of AEW Collision and all the things we're looking forward to, that show is, again, coming up very soon. And we've had so much great action on the show. The show regularly features some of the best wrestling and the best wrestlers.
Holy!
And I thought it would be so awesome to look at some of these top rivalries and put some of the hardest hitters and the highest flyers in one great all-star 8-man tag match.
Buddy, an 8-man tag.
Big rivalries and some of the most exciting stars in AEW. And boy, was it a great match last week when Juice Robinson and Austin Gunn, the Bang Bang Gang, picked up a win over FTR. Now, there were some other people involved in that. We saw Bandito and his brother Gravity get involved, and we know FTR will be challenging Brodito for those World Tag Team titles at AEW Full Gear. I thought since Bandito wants to get his hands on FTR, I know FTR want to get in the ring with Bandito. I know they want to get in the ring with Juice Robinson, but also I think FTR want a piece of another tag team.
Why do you think this? Why don't they explain it on the show more? It seems like they want a piece of Steamboat, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, buddy. Speaking of Steamboat Tone here, the other Steamboat sounds like he fucking they want a shot at him after getting karate chopped and shit at Blood and Guts. You know what I mean? Like why?
And a tag team that wants a piece of FTR that got involved last week in that FTR Bang Bang Gang match, and that is Jet Speed. So I think it'd be great.
And jet speed is jet skiing behind me right now. We actually have jet speed jet skiing behind me right now. And they're going jet speed. Get it? It's a super yacht.
Bandito and Juice Robinson.
Remember the one time he was on the boat, the first time we caught up with Steamboat Tony, and he was like, this boat is actually like goes into, like docks into the side of this boat of the Kismet, the super yacht. It's like fucking Voltron. This boat actually transforms into Optimus Prime.
And jet speed, four of the most popular, four of the most exciting stars in AEW. Put them on one.
The Kismet is actually one of the. It connects to Voltron, makes it Super Kismet Voltron. You know, like
one team: Juice Robinson, Bandito, and Jet Speed, and put them all together to take on FTR. And FTR are going to come and they're going to roll with one of the most dangerous teams out there. Guys who have no love lost with Bandito, certainly no love lost, definitely with Jet Speed. And that is the ROH World Tag Team Champions, Sammy Guevara and Roosh, the LFI. We'll see.
So this chick here, like his intern, right? And this is what I tell everybody, like, man, the people operating these social medias, right? So she flips the camera on her. The people operating these social medias are like fucking 21-year-old intern. Like, I'm not saying Tony doesn't use his Twitter, but I could imagine him also being the kind of guy who's like, just quick, write this. Good afternoon. Check in at Dynamite tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. And he goes, write it exactly like this. That's what Donald Trump does. Okay. Apparently he just yells shit, write it exactly like this, right? And then they fucking do. And then they do it in all caps or whatever. That's like a rich guy thing. He's yelling at some intern, or he just goes, turn the camera on me. She doesn't know the first thing about filming nothing. Neither does he. He gets his coffee, files his shit, orders his lunch. Oh, I'm really wanting burritos. You guys feeling the burritos today, right? And she goes and fetches it. That's who she is. And he just hands her the phone and goes, quick, film this. Put it on fucking whatever. Oh, get these pillows and the AEW in the background. That's what it is. She's just some like 19-year-old intern who is like alone on this boat with Tone. Whoa, Tone.
You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up.
That didn't look like your girlfriend, Tone. No. But still, man, that's who it is. So when people go off on these like you see like sickos getting mad at like WWE on Fox or like WWE on USA or whatever accounts, and it's like, or like, oh, WWE taking shots at AEW on their socials. It's like, no, that's some intern who probably doesn't even know shit about WWE and just looks at what's trending online, and they're hired because they know how to use social media well, or they're like a young person who's hip, right? And they're just like, and that's the thing, the women who get hired to run people's social medias as well, who like run companies where, yeah, I'll do your social media for you. I'll like relevant posts and I'll comment on posts for you. You can look that shit up. It's all like women in their fucking early 20s and shit. You can hire people to do that for you. Anyone could, you know? And so it's funny when you see people get mad at these like Netflix accounts, or like even the AEW on TNT account or whatever. Like, that's just some fucking intern. But Tony's intern shows herself and then is like, I fucked up. And it's just funny that this like, of course, the production's so bad. We roast the production on these, but now we know why his videos are like this. It's just some girl who, like, she's not a photographer, videographer. She just fetches him his fucking, oh, can you plug my phone in, please? She's just his errand girl, you know? So
ROH World Tag Team Champions, Sammy Guevara and Roosh, the LFI.
Or it's his side piece.
The LFI team up against
Or
Bandito,
it's his side piece.
Juice
Are you throwing that out there?
Jet Speed. That's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Or it's Tone's side piece. What do you guys think? Is that going to too far, alone with 30 plus crew. Here's the thing though, chat. Here's the thing about 30 plus crew. 30 plus crew, I understand that because it's this fucking super boat. But they're not in this room. There's no crew, dude. This is like a private quarter. What is this? This is like the fucking living room quarters. The only people who come in here are Tone, whoever he invites, and then the lady who's like, "Sir, would you? We're docking soon, sir. Would you Would you like a BLT, sir? Your morning coffee, sir." That's the only. And they have a radio. I bet they can like intercom rather. I bet they intercom. This is over. You know, do you want a BLT? We're having turkey clubs. The Vince McMahon special on your boat. Tone? Boats and tones, man. Vince like planes. I don't know what's going on this boat, though. Could be something sketchy, man. I don't know. Are you starting rumors over here?
And there's going to be a lot more great action and a lot more to look forward to. This
is his bedroom on the super yacht. It's got AEW on. Like, who else would have that? This is his private quarters. Like, who is this gal, you know?
A fantastic show. And like I said, whether it's that 8-man tag match, FTR, LFI versus Jet Speed, Bandito, and Juice Robinson, whether it's this TNT title match, Kyle Fletcher versus Scorpio Sky, or the challenger at Full Gear for the TNT title, Mark Briscoe taking on Mark Davis. High-End and Maya World returning to Collision to take on Rio and Alex Windsor. Timeless Tony Storm coming to Erie, Pennsylvania tomorrow. And of course,
by ship.
So much
Set
more to look
sails.
forward
Full
to.
speed ahead.
It's going to be a great show. And it's going to be an awesome Collision. And that's why before I leave for Erie, before I leave this beautiful
Set sails
motor yacht Kismet, I
my
wanted to go
guy's fucking setting sails to Pennsylvania.
live with all of you and say hi and say, I hope you can join us. It's coming up very soon. It's Friday night right now. It's a beautiful Friday night. I hope you're all.
So, Tone, how'd you get to Pennsylvania? All hands on deck. Full speed ahead. Oh, you came through the water?
Having a great start to your weekend. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. It's less than 24 hours from right now. And I'll see you for AEW Collision then. And I wish you a good night. Thank you very much.
Oh, man. And I wish you a good night and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, even though it's Thanksgiving first, but kind of like Scorpio Sky and Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe. Nothing I'm saying makes fucking sense. Oh, man, that is hilarious, dude. That is great shit. Steamboat Tony. So, oh, man, that was awesome. We watched that whole thing. So, guys, we have another Steamboat Tone, but he's like, it's just a real video of him hanging out. And this was the super yacht that he was on, the Kismet, which attaches to Voltron. So Tony Khan was live. This is another lengthy one, dude. And this is him at Collision before Collision. And again, he abandoned doing the boom, pop, pow, boom. Like I suggested that. He needs to be more to the point. Then we roasted that one anyways, and he sucks at it. So this week he's like, no, I need to get back in my comfort zone. I need to get back in my comfort zone. Okay?
Great.
So here's what Tone had to say before Collision this evening. And I don't know if we're going to make it through this whole one here, but
I lost you for a second. I've got to employ better.
I lost you at sea. Did they make you walk the plank?
Camera people. I'm just kidding. I've got the best in the business behind this.
Oh, the camera people. I got the best in the business. See, I'm putting over the intern who the best in the business. Dude, you sound like you're in a bathroom somewhere. And you're like not even in frame correctly, and the lighting's terrible.
And he's doing a great thing for me right now. I really appreciate you
I
joining
switched
me.
to a he. You know, my girlfriend saw that girl, and she wasn't supposed to be in my room. Oh, did we just bust Tone? Oh, shit. We might have busted Tone. Oh, dude, he had to mention. See, this is it right here. We broke it down. He
Sometimes in
had
life,
to
you gotta be a
mention
hoe.
that it's a guy this time, because his girl that everyone's like, oh, this is his girl. Because there's pictures of like this girl, I guess he's dating or whatever. And that girl saw the video of that girl turn the camera on her. And that's why she looked shocked. And then and she was alone in his headquarters at sea, dude. Why else would he be on the boat? Why else would he be on the boat? Where do you go? Oh, get a hotel room. No, dude, he's on a fucking super yacht with his side piece. Quick side piece. He just calls her side piece too. Quick side piece. Film this. And then fucking his girl was like, yo, who is that chick? Whatever. Oh, it's just one of my many interns. So then this time he's covering for it. And he's like, oh, dude, it's a guy behind the best in the business, even though it's filmed the exact same way. Looks like someone put a fucking condom, a lubed up condom over the fucking lens. And it sounds like he's in a bathroom somewhere. Oh, dude. Oh, man, we got
The best
you.
guys, Tony Khan.
Okay, moving along.
And I have to say, we got a huge Saturday collision. And as I was just saying, we're going to have a huge all-star 8-man tag team match with huge rivalries, high flyers, and top guys all colliding tonight. FTR, LFI versus Jet Speed, Bandito, and Juice Robinson, who is red hot in AEW right now. All of them red hot and mad and ready to fight tonight.
So he singles out Juice and goes, wow, Juice Robinson, he's red hot. And all the guys are red hot tonight. Bro, it's like, I don't know. He just doesn't know how to put anyone over. It's like saying, oh, this guy's the world's strongest man. All of these men are the world's strongest men, actually, right?
And speaking of big collisions, as I was just saying, as we lost each other, I'm really excited about the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship Tournament. Of course, a lot of the participants are very banged up right now, coming out of the blood and guts match. A lot of the top teams were involved, and a lot of the top stars in AEW were involved, including a lot of the top women and some of the top women's tag teams that are still competing in this tournament. And one team that thankfully is 100% fresh is Rio, the former world champion, and Alex Windsor. Their first outing as a team went very well, and they picked up a great win.
So wasn't Windsor teaming with someone else? Now she's just with Rio. Okay.
Earlier this year, and now they're joining forces again, and they're going to team up against two women who did great things for us last week, Hyann and Maya World.
Who did great things for us, stepped up to job for the fucking, yeah, okay. That's what they would be doing anyways. They're new in their career. They are going to be jobbing anyways. That's the pecking order. Fuck are we talking about?
Who were just
like, good for them, honestly. Good for them to jump at that opportunity. Now he's rewarding them. Good on them. Again, I'm not hating on them at all. Maya and Hyann. I know it might sound like but again, that's just like a messy situation. You just found other jobbers. You have 1 million people back there who'll do jobs, Tony.
Excellent for us last week. And even though they didn't pick up the win, I thought they were very impressive. And I have to say, with Hyann and Maya World looking so impressive last week, I think they're going to be trying to get the attention of the pro wrestling world and pull off an upset against Rio and Alex Windsor tonight.
So did they? Someone's got to tell me in chat, did they pin fucking Alex Windsor or something like that and get an upset? Because otherwise, Tony, why are you overly teasing that notion? Because he just stooges everything. So
we also have a big match with Mark Briscoe taking on Mark Davis. And I have to say, Mark Briscoe and Mark Davis is a very exciting issue. Mark Briscoe will be challenging very soon at Full Gear for the TNT title. But Mark Davis, of course, has been a key member of the Don Callis family.
They're both called
Mark Davis,
so we had to
was
do this
possibly
match.
Involved in an attack.
Remember Will Washington said that? Oh, they're both called Mark. Or sorry, that's not his voice, but Will Washington was like, yeah, they're both called Mark. So we're like, we have to make this match. It's like, bro, you guys are fucking Mark.
You fucking Mark!
Back on Mark Briscoe this past
Okay, boring. We know.
What a great moment for Darby Allin and the whole conglomeration, including Mark Briscoe. And Mark Briscoe is going to bounce back from that tonight. And
So Darby Allin's in the conglomeration too?
compete against Mark Davis. And speaking of Mark Davis and the Don Callis family, we will have a TNT championship match tonight We've got the TNT champion, Kyle Fletcher, in the house right now. Kyle Fletcher is going to be taking on Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky is a former two-time...
You look so tired. Oh, I'm tired. I was on my boat with my hoe last night.
TNT champion.
So you can hear people knocking on the door.
Oh my goodness. The timing of this again. 2 weeks in a row. How lucky is this, Tony?
Well, we're joined again by the TNT
Look at
champion,
that.
second week in a row.
Another cameo. Look, I just wanted to come in here. I didn't know this was going on, obviously, but I wanted to thank you for letting me
I didn't know this was going on. A guy holding up his fucking phone and talking to it.
announce another open challenge for this championship. This is number 8, if you're keeping count. I'm keeping count. If I successfully defend the title today, I will be tied with the most championship defenses in a single TNT championship race.
No one cares. That's the problem. We should care about that. That should be like a big deal.
Isn't that exciting?
That is very exciting.
I'm excited about that.
That is very exciting. And you're going to be taking on a great former two-time TNT champion, Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky, I think the Don Callis family knows him very well. They tried to...
Ow, no one knows him well. He hasn't been on fucking TV, and we also just broke down how that's stupid. Let's skim ahead a bit. He's still with Fletcher like a minute or two later.
That is propaganda you are trying to spread right now, Tony.
Yeah, thank you, Fletcher, for calling it out. It is propaganda. How the fuck are you going to sit there and say he's defending against Scorpio, but then if he defends it, then Mark Briscoe puts his freedom on the line if he doesn't win the title, and we already booked that, but here's matches for both of them before. Stupid.
Did you witness that happen?
There were
Did
eyewitnesses.
anybody witness that
Yes,
happen?
there were eyewitnesses.
Did anyone witness that
There were
happen?
Renee reported
Nobody witnesses anything that happens in AEW, buddy.
because there were eyewitnesses.
Renee is not trustworthy.
Renee is very
Come on
trustworthy.
now.
Renee is the
I
most
would not trust
trustworthy.
a single thing she says.
Renee is one of the most trustworthy people.
I was at home patting
Very
my cats on
trustworthy.
my couch on Wednesday night. I was nowhere to be seen.
You were there, and Mark Davis was there, and now you're both here tonight at Collision. You'll be defending the TNT
Time Cop, you were there, now you're here.
Championship against Scorpio Sky tonight.
Okay, let's go
Joined
ahead.
the family banner. Oh, I can't wait to see it. How about you?
But what if Scorpio Sky wins tonight? What if Scorpio
Look at these two. It's been fucking, how long has Fletcher been here? It's been fucking just a regular Abbott and Costello, these two, huh? The chemistry. And now he breaks it down. Well, what if Scorpio Sky wins? Yeah, you should have thought of that, Tone.
Sky becomes the TNT champion tonight, then he would be the one wrestling Mark Briscoe for the title at Full Gear.
But then the stipulation for Mark Briscoe's gone. So then if Scorpio Sky beats him, then he's in the Callis family. You know what I mean? Then that whole thing that you tried to set up for Mark Briscoe goes away. It's non-existent now.
What would you say about it then if he becomes a three-time TNT champion tonight?
I would say that is absolutely preposterous that you would even throw that out into the universe, Tony, because obviously that is not going to happen.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously, I'm going to retain my title tonight and go into Full Gear and beat Mark Briscoe again and become the man, the greatest TNT champion of all time, like I've been saying all this time. So why would you even put that out into the universe? Why would you want that to happen?
He's a fucking shitty booker, and someone pointed it out to him after, and he was like, oh, fuck.
Come on now.
Well, I got to say, Kyle, I wish you a lot of luck. I hope you have a great match tonight, and I expect it will be a great match.
It will be, as it always.
That's why I have a lot of respect for you putting the title up tonight on Collision ahead of AEW Full Gear. It's not a mandatory defense. You're a fighting champion, Kyle, and I have a lot of respect for you. Thank you.
I have a lot of respect for you, Tony. Look forward to seeing you all on the television and HBO Max.
Thank you. See you tonight.
That should be the end right there. Why wouldn't you end with the big wrestler guest appearance?
The face of TNT, Kyle Fletcher, the proto star. I'm looking forward to Kyle Fletcher against...
We know you just spent 5 minutes saying how much you're looking forward to it and how much you respect him. The proto star, thanks. See you tonight. And let me tell you a little more about Kyle Fletcher, who I just told you 7 minutes about.
Scorpio Sky tonight. I also have to say that's actually not the first interruption we've had in the office today. It's just the first interruption that I've filmed. If you saw what it was like in here, it's a chaotic madhouse. Earlier today, and I was just talking about the Blood and Guts match and how crazy things have been since Blood and Guts. Well, we were interrupted by the Death Riders. The Death Riders are here tonight.
So they run roughshod. They can lose. Doesn't matter. They lose in Blood and Guts. They lose at the main event of your pay-per-views. They lose the title. Nothing fucking matters. They just storm in, ask for whatever they want.
Death Rider
still ruin
are here at Saturday Collision now, and they're really upset. They are furious after.
And I might have fucking muted myself there again. He's just saying this to 12K fucking sickos, okay, who already know this shit. That's all that's tuning into this show on the television program, them getting fucking mad at you. And you put an authority figure in place. You get mad at them and go, I'll fine each and every one of you motherfuckers for doing this bullshit again. Nothing changes at all. Nothing fucking changes with the Death Riders. They do whatever they want still. And he even tells us off camera they're doing whatever they want still. What fucking changed? They lose at big pay-per-views. They lose the fucking blood and guts. They lose everything. Nothing fucking changes. It's just they run roughshod. They call their own shots. They get their own matches. They're mad at you. Show us.
What happened at Blood and Guts. As overjoyed as Mark Briscoe and his team and all the fans of AEW were to see them pick up the win, the Death Riders are just really mad, and they have asked for a match tonight. The Death Riders put out a challenge to anybody with the guts to step in the ring with the Death Riders.
Well, they get open challenges and can just do whatever they want still. It's such bullshit. They've fucking tanked your ratings. Mox loses the title. They reveal what's in the briefcase. He fucking loses again. He gets tapped out in the thing. They're just angry and want matches, and you're just giving it to them. After they put plastic bags over people's heads and drown them in fish bowls and all this shit, literally.
Tonight, and the guys who stepped up in the locker room, they fought the Death Riders before and had a fantastic match here on Saturday Collision. And I'm talking about Adam Priest, Jay Lethal, and the Dynamite Kid, Tom Billington. Now, Tommy, Jay, and Adam, they had a fantastic match with the Death Riders, but they'll fight a different combination, a totally different group of Death Riders tonight. And I'm talking about Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, and Pac.
That's
Pac,
garbage.
who is steaming mad after just absolutely obliterating
That's garbage.
Darby Allin in that Blood and Guts match this past Wednesday. Pac is in the house tonight. He's going to be on TNT, teaming with Garcia, a former TNT champion himself, and Wheeler Yuta, former AEW World Trios champion. To have all of these guys together.
What the fuck? Oh my God.
Together after Blood and Guts. That's huge news. But also, John Moxley's in the house tonight. John Moxley is here at Collision, and he is the maddest of all. John Moxley is furious. And again,
we're not going to show you on the show. We're not going to tell a story. Nothing. He gets tapped out, slammed on glass. He's all good. Nobody's hurt from Blood and Guts. It was hard hitting glass. Everybody's dead. Everyone's bleeding. But they're just all here wrestling tonight because this is all just phony bullshit, and we don't give a fuck about anything.
I think you saw an interruption earlier when Kyle Fletcher came in here. That was relatively pleasant. That was a nice interaction. That's like a nice day at the office compared to what happened earlier. So it will be the Death Riders. They got what they asked for. They are going to have a match tonight.
Yeah, reward them. Reward them for losing all the time, all the big ones, and for holding your company hostage and invading and ruining matches. Let's reward them instead of do like Nick Aldis suspending McIntyre and shit that, like stuff that actually makes sense.
It will be
as an authority figure.
Of course, Pac, Garcia, and Yuta versus Priest, Lethal, and Dynamite Kid tonight. And I'm so excited about AEW Collision tonight. There's so much to look forward to. We'll have more to announce and a lot to talk about coming out of Blood and Guts. And it's all coming up just hours from right now, live here in Erie. We'll see you at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, tonight on TNT and HBO Max. I'll see you all very soon. Hope you're all having a great afternoon. Thank you.
Man, what a fucking cringe lord. I love those videos personally. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the best guys, Tony Khan.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
ladies and gentlemen, we went 3.5 hours. That fucking rules. I want to thank you all for being here this evening. Round of applause for the PWT universe. Spectacular. It is late here. Guys, I absolutely appreciate. Thank you. And I'll see you in hours from tonight, but on Wednesday. Guys, Wednesday is the big 200th live show. The 200th PWT fucking live show, guys. So make sure you tune in for that. Thank you all for being here this evening. It was amazing. We unveiled Tony Khan's side piece. He lied about titles. We covered everything. The Zack Ryder return. So go back and watch the replay. Guys, patreon.com/prowrestletimes. Go and check that out. I'm dropping a bunch of shit on there for this week. And I appreciate. Become a member. I do bonus shows Mondays. Okay. Thank you all for the support. Hit like on your way out. I'll leave you with some Jericho here because we didn't hit it tonight. And I appreciate you all. Hit like on the way out again. And until next time, I'll see you all in the upside down. Peace.
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. It is a let me get wild. Yay!
It is a fast-acting viral strain that infects the host immediately, and upon getting sick, the infected will become racked with coughs, sweat profusely, and start to get the shivers and chills.
There he is, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. You can't literally run a promotion just for the AEW, what do they call them, sickos?
Thank you very much, TikTok and AEW. See you tonight.
Tony Khan started telling people there's no such thing as long-term booking anymore. It's week to week.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
We just secured the bag.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It was just sort of happened naturally. But it was never something I intended. It was just something that happened because the wrestlers asked me to do things in matches, and I do them.
If you run a promotion just for the sickos, you're going to do 400,000 viewers eventually.
Mother effing melts. You know that SmackDown actually went over and everything?
Yeah. What's the point?
The point of SmackDown.
What are you getting at here?
That the DVRs didn't pick it up.
Did they not pick it up?
Mine didn't.
Let's get into everybody's favorite moment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week.
What would you like to listen to in your ears?
I'd like to hear the flute.
Well, if you'd like to flaunt your flute, then we can find you a flautist.
We have just secured the bag.
It doesn't help me.
Okay, so complain, but
I will complain.
Let me out of my misery.
And when I heard that, I was like, what?
Thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.
You got to run a promotion for everybody. The sickos can be the ones that buy tickets first and spend the most money on the merchandise.
Because we have just secured the bag.
But you got to promote for everybody. Then you'll have a lot of viewers.
I think we proved a lot of so-called experts. We made them look like idiots. We're not going anywhere. Tony Khan's not going anywhere.
You'll also be there on TNT. You'll be in 2 places at once. It'll be like my favorite movie. Time. It's so great, Pittsburgh.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It sort of happened naturally.
the best guys, Tony Khan.
Keep themselves